Hello, my friends. Hi, hi, hi. How are we? It has been a minute. How are we? Hi, hi. I know. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Snothman. Um, thank you. Hi, Forest Gremlin. Hi, Moonchild. Hello. I know. I've missed you guys. Lou, I did put it on live chat though. How are we? How are things? How have you guys been? I missed you guys. Hi, Keen's Laundry. Hi, Raspberry Italia. Hello, hello. Hi, Hattie. Hi, Rowan. Goat Fieri. Jamie. Leo. Hi, Joe. Snurch Service is back. I know, we almost lost our tax exempt status. First ever, I'm not taking classes, so I was able to relax a little. Oh, wow. Abby, that's nice. Hi, Jess. Thank you. Hi. Oh, it's just Mia. Okay, great. Hi, B Brain. I missed the last few streams, but I'm glad to be here today. Desperately need some distraction. Hi, bye. Thank you for the $5. Had my appointment with my second client and a dog trainer. Ooh, so happy. But any advice on dealing with relying on self-promotion for survival? Honestly, hi, bye. No. I think consistency, like persistence, is important. I had a friend actually tell me that the difference between people who like quote unquote make it as like content creators or online or whatever are the people who just continue to show up. It feels like you're shouting into the void a lot of the time, and it's really embarrassing actually when you first start, but it's okay. It's okay to shout into the void. People as a dog trainer, not with a dog trainer. Oh, okay, got it. That makes much more sense. Yeah, I think just being persistent and like continuing to show up even when it feels embarrassing, makes a big difference. Also, I forgot to fix this. There we go. Okay. I think that's right now. Yeah. Okay. Also, if the TV show volume is fucked, let me know. Discovery doesn't normally fuck shit up or like copyright the audio, but if it does, Joe, thank you for the 5 memberships, 5 more memberships. I saw you gifted some earlier. But yeah, if the audio is fucked, let me know. And then also if we have copyright issues, I'm gonna have to fix it or fuck it up actually, but it'll be fine. My son is getting into big kid stage and I miss his baby stage. He says he's not a big kid. I'm a regular Malcolm boy. Little E, that's so cute. I did the equivalent of putting on the Magic School Bus and turned off the lights and played on my phone. What, Christine? Hold on, I need context. Whatever you do, don't scroll up in YouTube chat. Oh no, yes, Lou, I saw. Coffee Joe got a membership from JoJo. Stop. Oh, actually, I think I have 5 more. I wish it would let me gift all of them at once, but it doesn't. Hold on. There we go. Gifting 5. I can give 10 memberships a month. So there you go. 5 more. Irene in Progress, Blue Sewist, Julie's Tales, Alex Alexander, and Steph C. Welcome to the channel memberships. Aaron keeps texting me, you guys. Just a regular boy. Boop, boop, boop. Thank you for, oh, wow, Discord chat was not updating. Rude. Obliviously watching the first 12 minutes all alone, thinking everything was fine. Oh, wait, is the camera not on? Oh, no, it is. Okay. Y'all are stressing me out. I mean, it's mostly me that's stressing me out, if we're being honest. Irene in Progress, of course. It's like a newer-ish thing that I do sometimes forget to do, to be fair. But how do you got a diagnosis recently? Oh, I'm so excited for you. It feels really like, I don't know, it's kind of a relief sometimes, I think, to get a diagnosis when you like actually have an answer for the thing that has been bothering you, Oh, when I shared couples therapy. Christine, I heard about that. Hi, bye, thank you. Honestly, Christine, happens to the best of us. Happens to the best of us. What can you do, really? Stream time again. I know. I'm excited. I actually, for once, feel pretty well rested. I do think I need to set better boundaries with the internet and with myself. So stay tuned. That's probably going to happen soon. But there is some exciting stuff that I want to share with you guys soon, too. So that'll be good. I found it so affirming every time I get a diagnosis. Yes, absolutely yes. Boop, boop, boop. Love the backdrop. Thank you, Crystalline. Those are my curtains to hide the mess that's behind the curtains. It's really something back there. It's not that bad. It's just that we filmed last night and I haven't put everything away. So, you know, it is what it is. We'll fix it later. Can't wait for this. My name is Mariah and my brother's name is Micah. Mama, that's wild. That's really funny. Hopefully you guys have a better grasp on familial norms than Micah and Mariah do. Yeah, ADHD things for sure. Love the cat cam. Thank you, Seaweed. It's pre-recorded footage, to be fair, but it's of my little baby Echelon. So we're excited about that. I don't miss babies too much because I think another would kill my husband. Okay, little E, honestly, I feel that. Aaron and I were talking about that last night because we talked about this on the pod, but I'll talk about it here too. We are having issues with Imogen because she is peeing on our things. I don't know why she's doing this because it's only one thing. It's only one thing. It's Olivia's things. It's mostly Olivia's bed. And we've done all the things. Like she has had issues with this in the past. We have tried all of the things. No, she does not have a UTI. Yes, I have checked. Like she's medically okay. It's a behavioral thing. But last night, anyways, she peed on Olivia's dog bed after we got home from filming. And we were cleaning and I had to shampoo the carpet and we had to wash the bed and like change a bunch of stuff and order new things and whatever. And, yeah, we were like, we're really grateful that we don't have kids in this moment because this is a lot to manage, let alone when I know she's just being a hater. I do think this might be because she's mad that we left for vacation. But to be fair, she started doing it before, like 2 weeks probably before we left for vacation. She started doing it just to Olivia's beds, just Olivia's things. I know that's the other thing that is so funny, Anna. Anna said, I think the question is, what did Olivia do? Nothing. Olivia and Imogen are like besties. Imogen will like boop her. She'll lay down with her. They hang out together. Echelon does not like the dogs really. Like she's just very skittish. And so anything that moves quickly or is like too large, not a fan. She won't even let people pick her up because she's just very skittish. So if anything, you would think it's the cat who is under the impression that she's being attacked all the time. But it's not. It's Imogen, who is the most well-adjusted cat except for this. So whatever, we're personally keeping Rocco and Roxy's urine remover in business because we're just spraying it on everything. We got our dog 2 weeks before we found out we were pregnant with Malcolm. Boy, a puppy and a toddler and a baby during COVID. Oh, just poop everywhere. That sounds so stressful. Maybe she wants Olivia to sleep with her instead of her own bed. Maybe. I do think it's because I was looking at like cat behaviorist videos on TikTok and someone was talking about, or one of them was talking about how essentially it's a cat's way to try to make that environment smell like them and to be more comforting. So I put some of their cat beds in the living room that they don't use anymore. We had them in the bedroom and it was that thing where like cats get bored of them and stop using things. So we put them in the living room and I'm hoping that that kind of makes the living room smell more like the cats. And then we have some other stuff that we're going to try. So we'll see. But yeah, I don't know. Were you behaving abnormally? No, Lou. I mean, other than like packing and stuff, obviously. But that didn't happen until like 24 hours before because I pack at the last minute. It should be on the same items no matter if you move it around. Yes. Hi, bye. It's the same bed that has really been through it. In the living room, if we put it by the door, if we put it by the couch, if we put it by me, and then in the bedroom, if we put it where Olivia normally sleeps, if we put it where Savannah normally sleeps, it's just that bed. It's just the things that smell like Olivia. I know, Christine, that poor bed. It is so frustrating. Imagine Finding the smell of your own pit is comforting. I know, Christine. Ew. Hi, Livestyle. Family therapy for cats. I know, right? That made me be destroyed in some time. Hattie, yes. I was formerly of the mind that like and especially like big furniture, like when it's a dog bed, it's not that big of a deal because it's small. So you can put that in the washing machine and then wash it with the enzyme like cleaner thing. But when it's like a piece of furniture, it's all over. Like I've been down that road because Imogen had this issue in the past and we had somebody living with us for a short period of time. And so she was really upset about that. But she has ruined a mattress and a bed frame and countless pillows and countless blankets and just some of their clothes, carpet. It was just, so yeah, and the couch too. Actually, we had to get rid of a whole ass couch too. Actually, I think 2 whole ass couches, 2 whole armchairs. Just, yeah. That's why I'm like so protective also of our nice couch. Because I'm like, please, no. No, not the expensive one. This is why we have the expensive couch, because we had a nice couch that we bought when Aaron and I first got married. Well, I mean, nice for us. It was like not a thrift store couch, so it was nice to us. And then she ruined it over the course of like years. I mean, I was like in denial about it. I was like, I can clean it. I'll clean it. No, girl, you cannot. The ball sack couch. It's called Love Sack. Thank you. And it's very comfy. But no, not that couch. Not that couch. It's a different couch. So we had to get rid of that one. We smashed it into pieces and took it to the dump after years of me being like, it's okay. It doesn't smell. It's totally fine. It did. It did smell. It was not nice. I know, Jess. Yeah, Joe said that too. Yeah, I was pissed off. I've gotten lucky with the fact that Bean doesn't pee on things. She'll claw the hell out of it, though. Okay, but honestly, Joe, I love that for you. Because if I had claw marks on my things, I'd be like, what are you going to do? But pee, it's just such a foul smell. It's so offensive and, like, it's very potent, you know? My elderly dog has been losing bladder control, so we just use pee pads and enzyme cleaner when he goes to the apartment. First of all, I'm so sorry about your dog, Leo. That's so sad. It's different when they just like are losing their bladder control, you know? But oh my God, Joe. Sick joke. Joe, I'm not saying that out loud on stream. But also, yeah, the words enzyme cleaner never come out of my mouth correctly. It's always enzyme cleaner. Oh, I just said it right. Enzyme cleaner. I did it. Oh my God. Wow. Look at me. I'm Ron Burgundy? Yeah. It doesn't say on the bottle, but I'm sure there's a version. Oh, yes. Captain Quesadilla, the one that we use. First of all, shout out to Nature's Miracle. We did have to switch because Nature's Miracle, it's that thing where your brain starts to associate smells. So the smell of Nature's Miracle started in my mind to be like the smell of cat pee. And so I was like, is there cat pee? And like, no, it was just Nature's Miracle. You can use that in the wash, I think. I'm pretty sure it says on the bottle you can. But the one that we use is called like Rocco and Roxy's or something. And you can use that in the wash also. Or at least I have been. And it's fine. I know, you unlocked enzyme cleaner. Like, who am I? Before I would say enzyme cleaner. How am I doing that? Wow, good for me. Yeah, cat pee is extra concentrated. It's the ammonia. If you spilled like an ammonia-based cleaner or something in your house, it would also be that level of offensive. So, yes, exactly, Leo. Enzyme cleaner. Yeah, Nature's Miracle has a laundry additive. Thank you, Lou. Boop, boop, boop. Enzyme is cleaner. No, Mia. Honestly, it feels like it sometimes when I'm like, everything's covered in cat pee. No, it's just the one thing, but my internet isn't cooperating. Oh, that's annoying. Klutzy Warlock, I'm sorry. Oops. Scrolled on the wrong thing. I get to be gross once a week. Let me have this. Oh, Kyle, no. I'm not reading that out loud either. I refuse. People in the replays can go find that in the chat. Also, hi, if you're watching this in the replay. Thanks for coming. Love you the most. On time cleaner. You guys, if you want to smell like Mickey's cute Imogen, you can buy a whole ass bottle of ammonia. Yeah, exactly. That's what Imogen thinks is comforting. The worst part, too, is that she's such a cuddly, sweet cat. Like, she is such a chatty little girl. She wants to like in the mornings and at nighttime, and we have good little cuddles, and I pick her up and carry her around, and I feel so betrayed. I'm like, my baby, why would you do this to me? At one point, she tried to do it right in front of us. Like, we were sitting on the couch, and I saw her meandering over towards the dog beds, and I was like, don't you do it. Don't you do it. And I like stood up because I was poised to like grab her in case she started to do it. And I watched her climb into that bed, and she started to like squat, and I was like, ah, and like freaked out, and I startled her on accident. So she ran away. But she's sending you some messages. Yeah, very potent ones for sure. Trying to get a job in SB and been here all week. The weather's so nice. What's that, Kyle? SB? South Boston. Super Broadway. I don't know. She heard you say less squatting, more squirting, and take it to heart. Yeah, that's true. She probably did, honestly. She said, fine, I won't squat. I'll just spray things now. One time I was in the bathroom on the toilet, and my cat walked in, backed up against the wall, made eye contact, and pissed on my wall. Oh my God. Captain Quesadilla, I would be absolutely livid. Oh yeah, Skyflyer. We have 4. We have 4 Feel-Away diffusers. They're in every outlet in our house. We spent like $100 a month on fucking cat pheromones, and it's doing nothing. I'm so mad. San Francisco. San Bernardino. Santa Barbara, not San Bernardino, Santa Barbara. Got it. San Francisco is gonna live in my head rent free. Y'all are stressing me out with these pee stories. I'm thinking of adopting a cat. Listen, Haunted Rose, some cats do it and some don't. Like, it's something that is just, I don't know. There are lots of things though that you can do to like minimize the chance of that happening. Like, for example, having your home be a place that like, if you walk, one of the behaviors that I was watching said, if you like walk into your house and you would never know that a cat lives there, your cat probably feels like they're not welcome there. And so that can sometimes explain why they might be peeing on things, because they feel like their scent is not in their home, and so it's not their home then. They're trying to make it their home by peeing on it. So having like a cat tree or like high places for them to perch with cat beds and stuff, things that smell like them, not like smell to us, but like pheromone smell, can help a lot, because essentially you just want to make them feel like they live there, like they belong, you know? If you can't beat them, join them. No, Christine, no joining them. The way pet owners will do anything and our pets just say F off. Yes, Alexis. That is very much how it feels, because we're out here doing the most, just doing our best to try to make them feel comfortable. And she's like, I'm going to piss on the stuff. I'm going to piss on your other daughter's things. Cats can be so cunty, and like I love it, but also rude, you know? There's a part of it that I respect, because they're just like, I don't know, I think cats are a great example of like consent, you know, because they will give you love when they want to give you love, you know? So they're like a good teacher in that way. I think especially for kids, cats can be fun. Like, I learned a lot about being respectful to animals because I had cats as a kid, you know, and my parents were like, if she doesn't want you to pet her or to pick her up, then you don't, you know, like that's just the way that it is. And so I think it made me a better pet owner and like dog owner when I eventually got a dog, because I learned to like respect when they were giving me the like, I don't want that, you know? Because dogs will just kind of let you, even though they don't like it. But cats are like, no, I'm running away, or I'm going to swat at you, or I'm going to hiss at you. You know, they're like, yeah, the sass. Cat sass is so good. I finally watched the Cats doc in Netflix, and it was awesome. I'm a relatively new cat mom, and it's been so wonderful. Oh, she's my night owl cuddly bug. Pigtails, that's so sweet. Yeah, that's my favorite thing about cats is that they come alive at nighttime, which can be kind of annoying, I guess, when they're like ripping it up and down the hallway. But it's really sweet when they're like, I want to come cuddle with you at bedtime. I think it's nice. The thing about cats and consent is so cool to think about. Makes your make your boundaries kitty. Yes, Haunted Rose. I think so too. Yeah, my cats rule the house too. Clearly. Yeah, everybody give Imogen a bunch of pets. Maybe that will help. We still find like 1 in dirt per year. Oh my god. Oh my god, Anna, that's absolutely wild. I would be so out of my mind. Hello? Oh yeah, don't forget to like the stream if you haven't. Okay. How long have we been banned before? Oh, only 30 minutes. Look at us. Should we start watching? I think we should start watching. Elderly dogs are so cute. Look at this cat hiding in the shower. Adorable. Okay. You guys, I have to say, I feel a little bit out of practice and also like out of touch. I swear to God, leave for 2 weeks and everything is different because now like YouTube updated and OBS had a really big update. Oh, also, that's the thing I wanted to tell you guys. I am going in with the expectation that we're going to have technology difficulties today. I'm just trusting it. Oh no, did it go away? See? Like, what did I say? I literally was just giving a speech about how I'm just accepting that we're going to have technology difficulties, and look what happened. Look what happened. Thankfully, it was Discord and not YouTube where I can just fix it. Oh my God, Discord, let me share my screen. I don't know why the button is so low. Okay. Yes, Alexis, absolutely it is. It really is. I know. What the hell? I didn't even hit anything. I want you guys to know. It just turned itself off. That was really bizarre. We lost you. Yeah. I don't know what happened. I didn't even touch anything. I just saw you guys talking about how like, well, I guess the stream is over. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? And then I checked and there it was. Just gone. It is homophobic. Hattie, I didn't hit anything either. Yeah, I know, Kyle. I think I'm manifesting a little too good. But yeah, I'm just embracing that we're going to have technology difficulties at some point today. That was our first one. It is what it is. So, you know, we'll just, we'll take it as it goes. Also, I'm taking these shoes off because I don't want to wear shoes at work. What does this look like? A day job? Absolutely not. Okay. Yes, exactly. The almighty power of Snod cannot be contained. Okay. Blankie, which might be a bad idea because it's probably going to get hot, but it's fine. The drama is ongoing if you want really juicy stuff. Wait, what? Oh, about the Plath family? Wild. Absolutely wild behavior. I truly do not know what the deal is. Okay, so let's fix that first of all. Okay. Julie. Yeah, I think that was me, actually. I gifted you a membership. Or maybe it was Joe. It might have been Joe. Okay. Boop. I think that's all the things. Yeah, OBS had a big update. YouTube seems like it's updated things. I'm all out of my depth. Oh my God, Beans. Ugh, Beans is so cute. Love her. It's feral behavior. It is kind of feral behavior. There's more ongoing Plath family drama. I mean, kind of. It's more of the same, really. There's kind of this central drama. Okay. We are watching episode 1, season 6, episode 1 of Welcome to Plathville. If you've not watched any of the previous seasons, There's a brief recap at the very beginning, but I don't know that it will really cover the whole thing. I would encourage you to maybe like either roll with it or Google it, or, you know, just trust the process. There are flashbacks to last season, and maybe the season before every now and again, but I don't know. I don't think it's too bad to jump into. Full disclosure, I have in fact watched this episode before. Aaron and I watched it while we were on vacation because leisure time. But we are only going to be watching one episode a week, so we will be behind because these episodes are coming out live weekly, so we will be behind. It is what it is. I'm going to keep watching them at home with Aaron, and it'll be fine. So we'll just, it'll be like a recap, you know, like a watch party after the fact. Olivia has been doing some interviews. Oh, yes. And things that were implied or hinted have been made explicit in those, but there's always family drama. Yes, little E. I saw some of those. I'm going to have to like brush up on my interview game because I feel like I missed some of them. Oh my God. Captain Quesadilla. Okay, but she's really cute though. Your cat might be allowed to piss on the wall because she's really cute. Yeah, what's a Delta 9? Are you and Aaron going to talk about it on the podcast? Plathville? In theory, yes. We recorded this coming week's podcast episode last night, and we didn't then, but mostly because we had so much to catch up on. Like, there's so much that we had to cover. So, we might eventually, if you guys want us to, I'm happy to. Okay. Let's get started. I think that's everything. Is that like an offshoot? Let me see here. I think that's all the things. I'm like so out of practice. I'm like, what do I do? Literally just press play, Mickey. Okay, pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Wow. Hi guys, I'm Mariah Plath. Hey. I'm the fourth oldest of 9 kids. Well, let's go for a ride. We all grew up in rural Georgia on a farm.
The cows got out.
Welcome to my crib.
We were homeschooled and had limited access to technology.
Who is Spider-Man?
We played music together, ate together, and family was the center of our universe.
Can we watch Donald Duck tonight after dinner?
Oh, no.
But me and some of my siblings wanted to get out and see the world.
I'm just gonna say it.
Here's to getting out of Cairo.
So we did.
I'm
getting on my first plane.
Your heart is going crazy.
Really?
Okay.
We tried lots of new things.
Take it in.
Own it, baby.
Woo-hoo.
We're ready to hit the runway.
First soda,
That's really good.
first kiss, first time using an ATM.
How do I get money out of an ATM? Still ain't fucking dumb. I should have done it. Get it together.
Christine.
But just like any other family, we've had our fair share of fights too.
I can't let you guys come
This
to the
is
car.
my property. I can walk on my property if I want
Mommy,
to.
you're just making
Mom,
things worse.
Look at
You are
me.
just making
Look at
things
me.
worse.
That is my wife in
These
that
are my
car.
children.
You guys can't come to my concert.
It's like our family getting divided all over again.
I'm just ready for Mariah to stop being a bitch on the side.
You accuse Olivia of stealing from you. That's not respectful.
And then the unthinkable happened.
We are moving forward with a divorce.
Ethan and
godly
Olivia's
morals,
marriage
right?
fell apart as well.
You've changed so much that I can't relate to you.
You've changed too. I think if I'm being completely honest, I'm struggling to see the longevity of this relationship.
We keep coming back.
Yeah, this family.
Our family's still strong,
Boom, let's go.
Let's go.
but the future is as uncertain as it's ever been.
I'm dating someone.
I don't support that.
I know and these are my children thing is so funny to me because it was unrelated to the issue at hand. She was just like saying something to say that she wanted. I thought it was weird. It didn't seem like it correlated to me, but whatever. Kim kind of does that. Kim has to be at the center of everything. Dead flowers. Why are we slow-moing that?
this year. A lot has changed. I mean, a lot. A few months ago, I moved from California, moved to South Florida, and moved in with this beautiful girl.
Pause. Can't hear you. Okay. Let me turn this down a little bit. Oops, wrong way. And then, oops, I reset that. Well, now I have to fix it. Boop, boop, boo. Hold, please. Okay. We'll test that in a second. Mic is too quiet. Okay. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, yeah, we'll test that.
Girl, I'm a lucky man, and life's been thrilling lately.
Hi, Tony Artificer. Yeah. Those words didn't want to come out of my mouth. Yeah, I think I'm gonna like this. No music. We don't need that.
I was living my life when I was in California.
Oh, hold on, pause. Why are the subtitles off? There we go. Much better, much better. Okay, great. Perfect. We're all good on the music, thank you.
We did long distance for a while, and you know, the more we got to know each other, the
Just
more
a picture of him on the table.
I felt a deeper connection, deeper than I've had with anyone. And I was like, if I want this to last, it's not gonna last across the country, long distance. So I made up my mind. I was like, I feel like life's too short to feel like you missed out on something.
Okay.
Summer, be quiet.
What are you looking at?
Another dog walking down the street.
At the moment, we're gonna take things slow as far as having a public relationship. She's cautious and shy. I'm a little hesitant to put our relationship out there in the open.
Any chance she's ever going to join you on camera?
I don't know yet. No comment.
Make sure you clean up the hair in the sink.
I cleaned it.
And the counter.
Doing that now.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it.
Clean as my baby skin.
Really clean.
It's okay. Perfect.
This is the first time I've moved in with someone before. It takes some getting used to. One of the things I'm learning a lot about is the little things matter more than the big ones. Like if I go to work, leave a little note. Or if I'm out and about, pick up her favorite dinner and bring it to her, or send her pictures. This reminds me of you. And when your significant other tells you to do something, you kind of have to. Especially when you're living at their house. So my girlfriend will write me lists, and it may take me a little while depending on what's on the list.
Okay, hold on. Several things. We're gonna read this list together. There's so many things. First of all, the weaponized incompetence of like not realizing that you have to clean the sink, and also like her inspecting it, to me, it feels like kind of a lot, but also there's a question, I think, of like, what is she inspecting it because he says that he cleans things but then he didn't, you know? Like, is this a weaponized incompetence thing? Yeah. Yes, Anna, the bar's on the floor. Excuse. But also the like relationships are about the little things. Like, yes, and also it feels like a checklist. This is why I caution people against asking or like creating this like checklist kind of thing, because it can sometimes end up in a situation where your partner's just checking boxes because you told them to, and not because there's critical thought, right? Like the hope in your partner doing little things is that they're doing them out of a genuine desire to show up for you, and because they're thinking critically about what will make this relationship flourish, how will I make my partner feel seen and loved and valued, right? Not because they're just like, okay, whatever, she told me she wants me to leave notes, I'm gonna leave a fucking note, right? Like she wants me to pick up dinner, so I'm gonna pick up dinner. It's just not helpful to operate from that perspective, because that will first of all lead to resentment, which is a problem later on. But also it doesn't really feel as good, right? It doesn't feel as good when someone buys you flowers because they know that buying flowers is on the checklist. On top of that, I want to read this note because it's really odd to me. Hi, Jessica. I As someone who has ADHD too, lists can be daunting. Yes, Natty, for sure. Hi, Cobble Jen. I know, off to a rough start. Not a day have I ever given my husband a list. And like, don't get me wrong, Whit, I don't think lists are bad. Aaron and I will keep lists both for ourselves, for each other, like as a couple, and for each other separately sometimes, because we both know that we have memory problems mostly. So we will keep lists, and that's not a bad or morally wrong thing. But let's look at this list. Bathroom light bulb, paint window trim, paint or plant flowers by the fence. List large mirror. I don't know if that means like list, like if it's listing. Exterior fence lights, back door threshold, and paint porch star. This feels like a list you give a handyman. I'm just gonna say it. This feels like a list you give a handyman. And I am confused. I know, the honeydew list. I hate that. I don't know. It's odd to me that this list is filled with these things. Also because some of these things are things that a couple could do together that would be like connecting. That's what I was thinking. Queer water, list mirror, like tilt the mirror. Kyle. Brittany, yes, exactly. We just talked about how like memory issues make lists, I think, a really helpful tool to, as long as people in the relationship are happy with that, you know? List like to sell. Oh, Gems, you're probably right. Yeah, like sell the large mirror. That's probably what it is. That's a lot for one day. And to be fair, Nerd, it could be, you know, something that's just like an ongoing list. But I don't know. It's odd to me that this is like a handyman list, essentially, especially because some of these things could be fun to do together. Again, like setting up the backyard or decorating things, painting things, planting flowers. I don't know. It just feels, I'm also curious to what degree this was just a bit for the show. Anna, yes, it sounds like someone put man chores in an AI generator. Absolutely. I am really curious whether this was just invented for the show to have something to talk about, where she was like part of the segment but not on camera, you know. It just feels very like, I don't know, it feels strange to me. I keep mine around for the D personally. The fact that he can fix things is a perk. Oh, Abby, that's very real. I love doing things like this with my husband because it's way more motivating. Yes, Jessica, also too, to be fair, not everybody is going to want or be able to do these types of things, but for what it's worth, these can be good bonding activities, right? Like painting things, planting flowers, that can all be fun. Hanging lights in the backyard, that's like something that can be fun, and like essentially decorating your space together. Yeah. Okay, same. Especially because it's not like, we in, like looking around our house created this list together. She like made this and gave it to him. It just seems to indicate a strange power issue and like a commitment to gender roles that can be kind of misogynistic and patriarchal and gross. Okay, anyways, enough about the list. Let's keep going. We're at 5:09. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Don't get me wrong, I love being able to help my girlfriend around her house, but it can be a lot.
Doing the dishes can be a lot. Why are we digging a trench? What's happening here? Why is he taking his shirt off?
I want to do the interview like this from now on. I will not answer one more question with my shirt on.
I wanted to talk about this also. Yes, Gems. I know that he's trying to like show off his muscles and he's very proud of his physique and whatever. To me, I don't know. This reminds me of the interviews that came out after Parks and Rec wrapped, where Amy Poehler mentioned there was a scene where, what is his fucking name? Andy Dwyer? Is that his name? Shows up at the door. It was Chris Pratt. Shows up at the door in theory, naked, right? Like on camera, that's meant to be the representation. But usually on a set, obviously, people will remain as clothed as possible while still committing to like the imagery. And he showed up actually naked. Like Amy Poehler's reaction is genuine because he was actually naked. And so she saw like his genitals and she was really shocked and confused and weirded out by that. Yes, exactly. This feels like obviously a much lesser version of that, but like I don't know if this was scripted, then like whatever, you know, it's fine. But when we subject people to like a level of nudity or like, you know, implied physical intimacy that they didn't consent to, we can run into problems here. Yes, exactly, Hattie. This is why public indecency is a crime, because those people didn't consent to see you like that. And so, I don't know. I don't like this. It feels, especially the like, I'm not going to answer one more question with my shirt on. Like, I don't know. Maybe this was staged by the producers. You know, for all I know, they told him to do this and they're like, just as a joke about his muscles or whatever. But I felt weird about it, and I wanted to point this out, if only to encourage people to remember that if people do this, like especially if someone's trying to flirt with you, right, and they're exposing parts of themselves, even just like taking their shirt off or whatever that you're not comfortable with, you're very valid in being like, ew, ick, and like also fuck off, you know, like I'm leaving, I don't want to be around you or near you because it's a weird vibe. Micah doesn't have much going on in the first few episodes, so at least we won't have to see much more of him. Yes, little E, very much so. Yes, Captain Casey Day. This is why we have intimacy coordinators popping up in film and TV. Absolutely, because that's the whole point, is that we can film scenes that from the viewer perspective are perceived as being intimate or sexual without actors having to participate in things that they don't feel comfortable with. This is why simulated sex is what is portrayed on TV. Yes, exactly. Natty, it's not the vibe. Okay, 5:41. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
What are you doing?
I haven't even really asked my parents if they're supportive of living together before marriage.
You going to work?
Yeah. Bye, Summer.
You know, I think there's things that have changed and things that my family's completely okay with that they wouldn't have been a while ago.
Well, yeah.
Say bye to your mom.
Because we did the rules for thee and not for me thing. So.
Thank you for the kiss.
I don't know if I can rightly pinpoint exactly what's different, but you know, I've gone on many dates and I've, you know, gone out in the world and explored, met a lot of wonderful people, but there's just something special about this girl.
Are we hearing wedding bells here?
Okay, bye.
Bye. Hang up.
I know, chaotic organized. I was thinking that too.
Have a good day at work.
They really do show a lot of her face. They're not doing a very good job of being
Bye,
like
pups.
obtuse about that.
All right.
We get to date ourselves.
That's a lot of dogs. That sounds like a sensory nightmare. Okay. I don't remember, Scout, how long they've been dating.
When you trust someone, it gets you killed. When you love someone, it hurts you still.
Micah, be so serious. Not Micah. Sorry, this is Ethan. I want to be clear that this is a song that Ethan wrote. Ethan wrote this song. Hattie, mute him now. Why are Ethan and Olivia in Minnesota? I missed that. Oh, so Ethan has family in Minnesota. They agreed. Part of the conflict when they first got married was that Olivia wanted to move out of their small town, like small hometown, but also just generally she wanted to see more places, especially big cities. Ethan did not. So their compromise was that they would move out of their small hometown into a place that Olivia wanted to go to, which was like a larger city in Florida. And then after that, Ethan would get to pick where they went. So they went to Minnesota to be with to be near Ethan's family and also to a smaller town that was like kind of, you know, the small town feel that Ethan really likes. I know, hi bye. Yeah, in case you missed it, the lyrics to that first part of the song were, when you trust someone, or when you love someone, it gets you killed. When you trust someone, they hurt you still. I know, yes, it's giving incel, Elsie. Absolutely it is. Literally, what is going on? Yeah, Ethan has really some stuff that he needs to work out. Yes, get some therapy maybe. Yes. Yasmamamodu, still very triggering and weird people. Okay, 7 minutes, 25 seconds, pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Of 1,000 suns, when you're near the end, your race is run. Look back on your life and you wonder why the things that truly matter.
With the ring out, this is so staged.
It's been many months since I've seen Olivia. Last time me and Olivia were together, we were talking about separating, and shortly after that she left for California.
Yes, so you're
I
separated.
stayed here in the apartment because can't get out of the lease. We haven't officially gotten a divorce yet, but I guess that's right around the corner.
I guess.
It's sort of a mutual decision. I don't want it to happen, but I don't see how we can make it work together either. So it is what it is.
This is why Olivia's divorcing this man, because he is so uninvolved in their life to the degree that he's saying like, I don't really care either way if we get divorced. What? Like, you don't have any strong feelings one way or the other? Like, it's just so confusing to me how someone, like, they had a very clear conversation. For those of you who missed it, they had a very clear conversation at the end of last season where they said, essentially, to shorten it, we're fundamentally incompatible. It came out later that a lot of this was political, Ethan being a Trumper. And so, you know, besides them being fundamentally incompatible, they also wanted different things out of life, and they wanted those things with other people besides each other. They did love each other very much, but they could not be together. So they agreed to separate. And Ethan is now being like, well, I don't know, she's been gone for a while. Yes, because you separated, because you both agreed to separate. But he's acting like, this is one of those things where Ethan is acting like everything in life is happening to him, rather than acknowledging that he does play a part in the way that some of his life circumstances have played out. Like, for example, his marriage failing, right? I think it's unhelpful to say it's one person or the other person's fault, because the reality is that relationships are a lot of messy intertangledness. But to say, well, I don't know, like I didn't play a role in anything is so disingenuous. Yes, Alexis, it really is an apathy kind of affect. I feel very bad for Olivia, Jamie, because the way that Ethan has continually just sort of like flopped and been like, I don't know, and also kind of forced Olivia to be responsible for making every decision in their marriage. It sounds exhausting. It sounds exhausting and really unfair. Part of being raised fundy teaches you to not think critically and to feel your feelings, to not feel your feelings. Without therapy, it's difficult to own your life. Not gonna lie. Oh, absolutely. Raspberry. And it's not that Ethan invented these problems or that he is, you know, uniquely responsible for them. But at a certain point, we do have to ask ourselves the question of like, okay, this has not worked out for me, right? And to what degree is that my fault? To what degree have I played a part in that? And how do I want to move forward? Like, do I want to just continue to do the same thing? Am I too afraid to make change? Or do I want to participate in my life looking differently? Especially because he's been confronted with the other side of fundamentalism, right? Like, these people are not so deeply entrenched that they have no idea that an outside world exists. Kind of, Cobblejen. He didn't necessarily say definitively, like, I want to divorce you, but he did say that, like, if Olivia was not willing to change and meet X, Y, or Z requirements that they weren't compatible, and that also he was not going to have children with her. And so Olivia was like, I want to be a mom if you're not going to have kids with me because you think I'm going to taint them with my wild political ideals, then we can't be together. Like, plain and simple. And he really did not like that. Yeah, Cobblejen. Good for her. Fuck him and fuck those idiots. Yeah, it's really not great. I'm not saying she didn't play her own part in things not to work. There's always a shared responsibility, but man, they put her down and expect her to pull all the weight. Yes, Captain Quesadilla. Absolutely they did. I think his family especially was really cruel to her. They were really, really hurtful to her and expected her to turn around and be like, it's all fine, no worries. And like, no, many worries, actually, many worries, because y'all really hurt her. And when she asked essentially to just have a conversation about the hurt that she had been subjected to from varying members of the family, nope. Oh, nope. Olivia's trying to ruin our family. She's trying to rip us apart. She's trying to break all of our family apart, and we can't have that. So they outcast her. And then when Ethan was like, well, I'm going to go hang out with my family, even though you're an outcast, see you in a couple of weeks, she was like, no, I don't like that. Please don't do that. And so Olivia was sort of cast into this scapegoat role of like, she's keeping Ethan from us. She won't allow Ethan to see us. And like, no, that's so not how this happened. Yes, Miss Nothman, they did. So he didn't want kids because he was afraid they'd vote Democrat. Essentially, Cobblejen. A lot of it was Olivia not being a Trumper. But a good amount of it was also Olivia's acceptance of queer LGBTQ people. Ethan did not want her telling their kids that was okay or to give them that message. Allegedly. Anyways, that's what Olivia has sort of, she's talked about it on Instagram. Oh, yeah, little E. I didn't hear that she said it in a podcast, but she's probably said it more places too, so also in a podcast. Thank you, little E. His conditions. Olivia has to return to church and raise the kids Christian. Olivia must become conservative and raise conservative kids, and their children will not be accepted if they don't align. Ooh. Oh, actually, yeah, I do remember she said something about that on one of her Instagram stories, that he openly acknowledged or said that he would turn his back on their children if they turned out to be queer. And she was like, no, I don't agree with that at all, which obviously, but that was kind of a tipping point, I think, for Olivia to say, like, we're not compatible in any way, shape, or form. Like, that's not happening. Well, Cobblejen, they got married really, really young in a very repressive and religious environment in a very small town where, I mean, Ethan kind of confronts his mom about this at one point, saying, you know, you told me, or you kind of pressured us that, like, we should get married to the first person that we dated, because they weren't allowed to kiss, they weren't allowed to have sex, they weren't allowed to have any kind of physical or sexual intimacy, they weren't allowed to live together. It's like sort of classic fundy purity culture things that was gate kept behind this line of marriage. So they got married when they were 19, 20, and then discovered later, after they had done some personal development, human development, that like, oops, we are not compatible in the slightest. As someone who's been ostracized from family after coming out, people shouldn't have kids if their love for them is going to be conditional. Yes. K-Aon, say it for the people in the back. Louder, my friend. Also, I'm sorry that happened to you, because that's fucked up. You deserved better. Boop. Okay, let's keep going. A little lost in the sauce here. 8 minutes and 15 seconds. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
You know the pain
Hi, Javi.
that man can face. You can see the sorrow in my face. Troubles.
When me and Olivia first split,
okay,
I would say I was pretty, sad and heartbroken, and then it started turning into anger.
Well, sometimes it seems like a just.
Yeah, pay attention to that. Cry me a river, yeah.
In the last few months, I haven't allowed myself any spare time. On the weekends, I got to my grandparents and hang out with them, work on my old cars.
There's the cars again.
I'd been working 2 jobs. Start at like 3:30 in the morning and then
finish up between 5 and 7. Every evening after work, I go work out in the gym, get some frustration out.
He's totally not trying to escape his emotions,
But
not
now,
at all.
the lease is up on this place end of this month, and I'm moving out. So Olivia's gonna be coming to town to pack up the rest of her stuff, but she didn't really say exactly when.
How are you feeling about seeing her?
I don't know what the heck I feel.
There are people who can help you with that, Ethan. Olivia has actually tried to encourage you to see one of them. So, you know, that's fine, I guess. Okay, yeah, we're just doing the really dramatic slow-mo of Olivia driving with some super sad music under it. So we're just going to mute it because we don't need that. It's not Olivia, it's the Sandman. What? Oh, because he's sleep deprived. Katie.
Signed. Last time
Hold on.
But I don't see us
No, not the music. Tell me what Olivia said.
Minnesota to get the rest of my things moved out and hopefully get divorce papers signed.
Last time I was here, we were kind of in a rough spot.
I want a family, and I want to be with someone who supports me changing.
I want a family too.
I know, you don't want a family with me. Literally just last week you told me that you were making a list of every hill you were going to die on, and if I did not answer yes to everything on your list, I couldn't have your kids, I couldn't be your wife, it wasn't going to work out.
Yeah, that list was like 3 things.
Still.
3 life-changing things. Yeah.
It got to the point that Ethan wanted to go separate ways, and it made sense to me. I don't think I would have been the one to say it was done just because I'm stubborn and I didn't want to walk away. But when Ethan said it was done, it was like a big sigh of relief. It was like, okay, I actually accept that. It is done. I can move on. I can walk away. I gave it my best.
This is really sad.
Not to say I didn't make mistakes, but I know that I tried.
Okay, really quick. Unrelated. Hold on. Just back up a little bit. This little scarf that she's wearing. Here, let me show stream also. This little scarf that she's wearing, it's kind of, hold on, her hands are in the way. Play. There we go. Yeah, this little scarf. Aaron and I were talking about this when we watched it the first time because I was like, that's kind of an odd wardrobe choice for her. Like, feels very business cash, where last season she was wearing a lot of like little, you know, cottagecore garden gay. Not that she's not gay, but like, you know, not that we're aware of anyways. But like little overalls and Birkenstocks and cute little kind of, you know, sporty outdoorsy outfits. And this like little, I don't know, blazer and the scarf and the whole getup was kind of funny. Okay, Marissa, yes, exactly. Marissa in Discord said hickey. That's exactly, I was like, I bet she's covering a hickey. I bet she is. And then, you guys, I went and looked at her Instagram. There's literally a post on her Instagram about how, like, when did we decide that hickeys were gross, blah, blah, blah. And she has a big fat hickey on her neck. So, win for Olivia. Big fist pump and celebration for Olivia. Not just for, like, getting back out there and dating and exploring her own self and relationships and all of that stuff, but also for normalizing a thing that really should not be that big of a deal. Like, we really should not be making that into something that's like dirty or gross. It's literally just an expression of physical intimacy. Yes, rock and roll Olivia. Absolutely. Good for her. Yeah, where is that gif of the mom from Arrested Development going, good for her? Because absolutely that. I know. I felt so validated. Aaron and I both were screaming when we saw it on her Instagram. Yes, thank you. Discord. And I would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those hickeys. Kyle. As someone who's worked with kids, nah, I don't want hickeys on me. That's valid, Kyle. I think that raises a bunch of questions that really we don't need to be answering with kids. But especially just like in your normal everyday life, we really don't need to be like, ew, blah, 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 blah. Like, it's just a thing. It's just a thing that can happen when you're physically or sexually intimate with someone, and it's fine. you know? Also, hold on. I need to take my meds. So pause, everybody. This is a reminder. If you haven't taken your meds yet, take them. They're good for you. Okay, here we go. That must have been a big hickey to have to cover it with a scarf like that. That's true, actually. That's kind of a good point. You're not wrong. I know the scarf cover up is so like middle school to me. I just remember like at that time it was like the infinity scarves and stuff. I just remember people wearing those and the teachers being like, why do you have a scarf on? Take your scarf off. Like, why? Why are we shaming them for that? All right, loud noise. Boop, boop, boop. I wasn't sure if I already took them earlier, so I just checked. Good for you. Fun fact, I have to take my pills by putting liquid in my mouth first and then the pill afterwards, because otherwise I'll get grossed out and bad things happen. Okay, Captain Quesadilla, I feel very validated because Aaron jokes with me all the time about how silly I look, and I'm like, it's fine. Like, leave me alone. I'm sure other people do it, so thank you. I'm telling Aaron about that as soon as I get home. That Captain Quesadilla also takes their pills by putting liquid in their mouth first. It's just, yes, exactly, Haunted Rose. It's like I have to practice swallowing first. It's a thing. I have trauma around swallowing pills, though. Yeah, with certain pills for sure. Especially the ones that have like the little, they're in a capsule, and so the little thingy has, it's like the taste of like gelatin. Ooh, not for me. Not for me. Christine, I hate swallowing pills, that's for sure. It's super weird to me on TV when people take pills dry. Yes, me too. I think so too. But people who are able to put the pill in first and then liquid and then swallow, that I don't understand that. Like, it's a superpower to me. So cool to finally catch a live stream. Sandy, thanks for coming. Thanks so much for the expertise you put behind your videos. And they've helped me so much. Sandy, I'm so glad. Thanks for coming, friend. I'm glad you could make it, and I'm glad you like the videos. It's so creepy how nosy teachers get about private details. Yes, Cass, especially because like if you're wearing a scarf, a teacher might clock that and be like, they have a hickey, but like you don't need to confront them about it. You don't need to be like, why don't you just let them live? They covered it. They're trying not to make a spectacle of it. They're like doing, you know, in theory, the thing that they should be doing. Let it go. Not to make this about me, but I got married since last stream. Oh my gosh, Katie, congratulations. Please make it about you. That's so cool. Oh, I'm so happy for you. How was the wedding? Did you have fun? Was it great? I hope that it was dreamy. There's not a lot of reasons why someone should need to use the bathroom. What? There's plenty of reasons. Hi, Eves. Thanks for the 5 memberships. Pumpkin, thank you for the 5 memberships. Wow, look at that. I can't take pills dry. Oh, no. Definitely no. Okay. I stopped giving fucks. Why do you need to take your bag with you? I need a tampon. Any other questions? Yes. Exactly, Jess. Especially because when you say that, then people are like, oops. And like, yeah, maybe you should think about that. You know? Just like, let it go. Boop, boop, boop. I can't do water first. The pill never goes down. I always have to do pill first and then it works first try. Interesting, Remy. I'm like, should I try it the other way? I know, Aaron, hooking everybody up. It was the best day of my life and legit the best wedding I've ever been to. I felt so chill and happy the whole day. Zero stress, only vibes. Oh my God. That truly is the biggest flex. I hope you know that, because weddings are so stressful, especially for the people getting married. It can be a lot. It can be really overwhelming. I'm so glad that it was like relaxing and fun. That's, I think, a sign of both really good people who support you, that were helping to like navigate and organize stuff, but also that you guys are like so, I don't know, it feels like a compatibility thing, you know, when like ultimately all that matters is that we're doing the thing, and I like, you know, I get to be with my person forever, and like that's what is fun about this day, you know. Hope everyone's having a good Friday. Thanks, Punky. I hope you're having a good Friday. Especially if the teacher is confronting the student in front of others. Yes, Jamie, absolutely. Oh yeah, if they're hiding signs of physical abuse or other things. That's a good point. 5 water bottles on my desk. Okay, sorry. Anyways, I derailed us. Let's keep going. 10 minutes and 56 seconds. Pressing play with the overlay. In 3, 2, 1.
I can move on. I can walk away. I gave it my best. Not to say I didn't make mistakes, but I know that I tried.
Yeah, Olivia. You did. Good for you, girl. Proud of you.
Then again,
okay.
I feel like really, I don't know, anxious and apprehensive. I'm ready to finalize everything, but at the same time, it's a little overwhelming. Having a conversation with the person who you thought would love you forever and couldn't. As much as I've tried to deal with that hurt, it would definitely bring it back up. And I don't want to feel that.
This music is so on the nose. Oh, Remy, that's so smart. Why have I never thought of that? Okay, I'm going to try that.
Yeah, I miss having somebody to take care of and do things with.
But do you miss her?
Thank you.
Yeah, I do miss her.
Where do you see?
Who's that?
Also, shame on the producers for doing this way. If this is real surprise, or maybe they scripted it, I don't know. I know. Who's that?
Knock, knock.
Hey.
Hi. How are you?
Yeah, he doesn't look ready for this.
I didn't know you were coming. I mean, you never let me know.
Are you still angry at me?
Okay, but also at the same time, I don't know. I have a hard time believing that this was unscripted because she has to have a mic pack on, right? Like, there are producers outside that door. I don't know. Maybe they put a mic pack on her and got her ready, but just didn't tell him. I don't know. It feels like it was planned. It does. Also, like, this is a big moment and the producers just were okay with not knowing whether she was going to be there. Like, I don't know. It feels very, she said he knew she was coming. Okay. Thank you, little E. Oh, where are you? What podcast are you watching? Please. I need to know because I want to go home and watch it. Olivia said later that this was definitely not a surprise. Okay. Thank you, Emily. I feel very validated because there's just no way that this was unplanned. I'm surprised that he was able to be this, like, surprised looking. Morgan, I hope you have the easiest time cleaning. Thanks for hanging out. Alexis, it seems like it is. I also do hold between my lips and drink water to swallow pills, but I put them under my tongue. Okay, yes, this is how I have to swallow them, is I put them under my tongue and then, like, swish them. It's a thing. I don't know. But what if you have to swallow multiple? You just line them up, I guess. I don't know. I imagine all reality TV shows have loose scripts and plot points. Yes, definitely. Or at the very least, like a schedule where, like, this is happening at this time, blah, 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 because they have to know. They have to have a camera crew and sound and all the things. I know. Tim Walls with the couch joke. Like, are you kidding? I was shocked by that. Okay. I do them one at a time. Okay, fair. Even the tiny ones. Okay, Melly, I used to do that too. I used to have to swallow them one at a time. Otherwise, It was not going to happen. Kiera, hi. Thanks for coming. Not trying to change the subject, but at Mickey and at chat, any book recommendations for religious deconstruction? I don't know. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I feel like I probably do have some, but I'm really bad, like in the clutch like this, you know? I wonder, I feel like I have some on my Amazon storefront. Hold on. Actually, it should be linked in the description of this video. Let me see. Tell me why I was about to Google my Amazon storefront. Hello. Mickey, what is wrong with you? I used to take them one by one as well. I feel so seen. No one understood why I struggle with it so much. Yes, Captain Quesadilla. People would call me a baby all the time and be like, oh, you're not a grown-up. You can't swallow more than one pill. And like, yes, I am a grown-up who swallows pills like a small child. Leave me alone. Like, who cares? Boop, boop, boop. I can afford them now, and my daughter has everything she needs and more, but I can't help but be so happy for girls in Minnesota. Hold on, I missed a chapter. Going back. Okay, there's a lot happening in the chat. Never mind. It goes crazy in there when you look at it. Okay, wait, Mackenzie, that's actually kind of true. Because when you look at the Bible, like outside of a religious perspective, you're like, oh, this is just like a nice little handbook about how to be kind to people, like integrity, you know, outside of the shitty gender rules and stuff. Like, there's some interesting allegories in there that really are not that bad. Something about human horses. Boop, boop, boop. Okay, hold on. Going back up. It's okay. There's a lot happening in chat and I missed some of it. Oh yes, Jordan and McKay are ex-Mormons, and I don't remember if it's Jordan or McKay. Please don't crucify me. But one of, I think the wife, she is also a therapist. I think she is in the process of becoming independently licensed. So there's a whole lot of good information happening over there from a personal and professional perspective. So that's also a great, Jordan. Thank you, Scout. Yeah. Jordan is the wife and the associate therapist. Thank you. So yeah, if you're looking for video content too, definitely check Jordan and McKay out. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. My nose ring is bothering me so much. Like so much. Da, 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 da. Well, yes, obviously there's terrible things in the Bible, but some of the like allegory lessons are really not that bad. The I've Had It podcast is great for political topics. Interesting. I've never listened to it. They did a good Ballerina Farm video. Y'all, can I just tell you, so many things popped off and like went wild while we were on vacation, and I was like, losing it. I was so upset because I was like, I want to talk about it. But it's fine. It's fine. We are going to like try to catch up and, you know, like make up for lost time, I guess. We're going to talk about some of the stuff anyways, even though it's past time now. Yeah, Kiara, I just got back from vacation on the 1st. So that's why we paused live streams and stuff, because I was doing things. Please talk about Ballerina Farms. You still can. I want to, little E. Excuse. There's a lot of like complexity to that though. There's a lot of layers. So I have a suspicion that it will be a long video. But if y'all want me to talk about it, I'm happy to talk about it still. Doop, doop, doop. Okay. I know. Yes, Hattie, exactly. Weird and messy. Absolutely. Okay. Hold on. It was jam-packed a couple of weeks. It's almost like having spiritual whiplash. Yes, Kyle, spiritual whiplash is the perfect way to put it. Okay, focusing back in. 12 minutes and 42 seconds. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
The last several months have been really challenging for me personally through the process of this divorce. I have started running so I can clear my mind, and I have a running partner. How's it going?
I'm so jealous of this. Being able to run in a quiet rural environment that is safe would be so nice. Do you know how annoying it is to have to run in a neighborhood that's filled with angry dogs that bark at you and people who might hurt you? Not my favorite.
Oh, you kept the plants alive.
Yep. I didn't know you were coming. I mean, you never let me know.
I thought I did.
It was like a coming up next.
Yeah, I can see how that would bother you. I understand. I'm sorry. I've been traveling a lot lately and just didn't think about it. It was just the next flight to get on, and I'm sorry.
I know, Lou, I was thinking that too.
How's life been treating you?
Pretty good.
Those plants are barely alive.
You doing okay?
Staying on this side of the ground.
Okay.
Can we just talk about what a strange thing to say that is? Like, that's not... I know. I do feel like part of the... I don't know. I feel like the awkwardness is also part of the staged aspect of this, though. I just don't believe that they had nothing to talk about. Like, they probably knew full well what the plan was here and are just being awkward for the bit. Yeah, it's like a... not a joke. It's like a sort of... like a quip about being alive. Like, you know, well, I'm alive kind of thing. I know. We're going to talk about it, Emily, because there's a lot of scariness. Oh, also, actually, that's great. Thank you. Segue. If there is a sensitivity or a sore spot for you around, like, scary fights, not necessarily yelling, but, like, physical intimidation, like, implied domestic, spousal, partner abuse, this might be kind of activating. So do be aware of that, because there's, like, fighting, not necessarily in a, like, loud or scary way, but in a, like, sort of unsettling way, that's going to come up here in a sec. I know, Jessica, I thought that too. Boop, 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 boop. She asked him how he was, and he said, I'm staying on this side of the ground, Mia. Yeah. So, okay. Let's keep going then. We're at 14 minutes and 18 seconds. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
We have paperwork to deal with.
It's sad.
I don't know if this has changed for you. I know that when I left back in the spring, like, we were in a good enough place to not need, like, a lawyer to mediate between us. Do you still feel that way? Okay. Is there anything that you wanted to talk about? Like, anything on your mind you wanted to get off your chest? Nothing? Like, any closure that you needed?
There's no closure.
Like,
are you still angry at me?
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
Very much so?
Why?
I don't know where to start.
Oh, hi, Socks. Okay.
Why did you tell me that me not having a relationship with my siblings for 1.5 years was not a sacrifice or a compromise?
So, it's not like I was unable to see that that was a sacrifice on your part, but I felt like that was held over my head when that, to me, was like the bare minimum for protecting your partner.
I don't understand why that was your direction that you took for what should be done instead of try to fix it.
Yeah. That's probably a way that I was not a good fit for you. It took me far too long to realize that between me or your family, like, you were gonna pick your family.
That's because...
Hold on. I want to address this because I know the sacrifices that I've made to love you. Anyways, okay. For those of you that are confused, the drama in the past has been that Ethan's family was pretty hurtful. Like, I would say cruel, mean, judgmental, purposefully exclusionary towards Olivia. And when Olivia made the choice to go no contact with Kim, who is Ethan's mother, that was not received well, right? She didn't tell Ethan that he wasn't allowed to see his mother. She said that she didn't want to. This kind of, it snowballed and it turned into a bunch of he said, she said about his family, but essentially it turned into Ethan also deciding to go no contact with Kim. It's unclear whether or not Olivia told him to. It seems like she might have pressured him to go no contact with his family, which sucks, to be clear. Don't do that. Telling people that you're not allowed to talk to X, Y, or Z, generally speaking, is not going to go well in a relationship and is also not kind. It's not a kind thing to do. That said, regardless of what somebody's opinion is on going no contact or how to respond when your partner goes no contact with your family, the reality is that Ethan responded to this in a way that was really unkind. He essentially carried on having relationships with his family as if nothing was wrong, as if nothing had happened. It's like Ethan and his family were living in an alternate universe where just like totally fine, completely unbothered, while Olivia would be at home feeling scared, feeling, sad, feeling hurt about all this stuff. I mean, Ethan lived in his hometown with his parents for like several weeks and didn't talk to her, didn't call Olivia, didn't text Olivia, didn't say anything. And so she was very anxious that whole time. And like, I think that's a very valid feeling to have, right? Yes, Emily, this is the other thing, is that while it's wrong for Olivia to have pressured potentially Ethan into going no contact with his family, it's also wrong for Ethan to pressure Olivia into quote unquote fixing things. Hi, Rachel. Thank you. Regardless of, again, what anybody's opinion about the issue is, giving your partner directives, right? And, like finger pointing at your partner, it's not really going to work out well. Generally, it's also a violation of their autonomy and personal choice, right? People as individuals, whether you're married or not, people as individuals get to choose how they want to handle conflict and hurt and things like that, right? And so Ethan saying, you need to fix it with my family, like, that's not fair. It's totally different to say, it really hurts me that you don't have a relationship with my family. It would mean a lot if we could talk about some kind of conflict resolution. It would mean a lot if you would be open to hearing what they have to say, right? It would mean a lot if you would be willing to go see them and I'll be with you and I'll support you and I'll hold your hand and I'll have your back. But it would mean a lot if you would be willing to be cordial for like this one family event, right? That's not what happened, though. The Plath family expectation about fixing it is just sweeping it under the rug. We don't talk about it. We don't address it. Nobody takes accountability for anything. And we just prioritize family above all and never address anybody's hurt. Nobody takes accountability for anything, least of all Kim, least of all the parents. And so it's better now. And Olivia wasn't okay with that, which is a really valid ask, I think. So him saying, I don't understand why that was your route instead of trying to fix it. Essentially, this boils down to what a lot of people face in the decision to go no contact with like their own problematic parents, which is that it's useless to try to talk to you about it, because when parents are committed to saying, oh, well, I guess I'm just the worst mom ever, right? Or like, well, you should be grateful because I raised you and and it becomes clear that they're not willing to change. That's the choice that we have to make sometimes, is to say, okay, this is going nowhere, right? Like, I'm going to go no contact with you because I know full well that there's no conversation to be had. That's not hurtful to me. So therefore we won't have a conversation. And again, this is a very valid decision to make, whether it's with your parents or with anybody, really. Josh, what? I will be the bridge to my family. Anything they have to say about my partner can be directed towards me. I didn't choose to be their son, but I chose that partner. So show me some fucking respect. Yes, Kyle, I think that's a really valid way to handle it too. And a great way to sort of split this difference between like, I don't want to go full no contact with my family, but I also don't want my partner to feel as though I've abandoned them, as though I'm not protecting them or I'm not going to take up for them when someone is being hurtful towards them, right? There's lots of ways that we can split that difference. But Ethan didn't seem willing to do any of them. He was very conflict averse and just kind of like, while he was with his family and while he was with Olivia, and it ended up being a disaster. So yes, Natty, sometimes you have to protect your peace. Still in contact, but decided that arguing with my mom is not good for me, so I try not to do that. Yeah, Kiera, absolutely. And I think that's one of those ways, again, that you can kind of split that difference and say, like, this is what works for me, right? This is, for now, the decision that, you know, protects my peace and, you know, prioritizes my safety the most. Okay, so yeah, that's kind of the background here. I hope that clarifies a little bit. So 1641, we're going to press play in 3, 2, 1.
Because you made me choose.
Okay, then maybe I should have walked away a lot sooner. I knew it wasn't right for a long time, and I probably could have saved you heartache if I acknowledged that sooner, and I'm sorry.
I wouldn't have saved me any heartache.
Okay, hold on. The other thing. I also want to point out that Ethan is trying to continually pick a fight with her. He's trying to open up this conflict as though there's resolution at the end of it, and there's not, right? I think Olivia did a really good job of acknowledging earlier, instead of getting into the shit and getting sucked into this argument for like the 99th time, she just said, yeah, and that's probably another example of why I was not a good fit for you, right? She's not telling Ethan that he's wrong. She's not trying to tell him you're not allowed to, or you're wrong for, or it's not okay that you chose your family or wanted to be with your family or wanted to be conflict averse or couldn't take up for me in front of your family. She's just saying, yeah, that's probably another good example of why we didn't work together, and thus why we're getting a divorce, right? This is a common thing that can happen when we've already decided that, like, we have fundamental differences that are not going to work. And so therefore we're going our separate ways. Oftentimes there's still a desire for some people to be like, well, and this and that. And like, you were wrong, you were wrong, you were wrong. Okay. Like, that's fine. This is a great example of what it looks like to preserve your peace and be like, that's fine, right? Like, what you think of me is none of my business. You can be angry at me. You can think that I'm wrong. You can disagree with the way that I handle things, because we've made the decision to no longer share our lives. We're not interconnected anymore. And so the way that I handle stuff, it's none of your business anymore, right? The way that you handle things, none of my business anymore. I don't have a say in the way that you do stuff because we're separated now. Thank you. Yeah, this is what my hair looks like after being faded. Especially the sun. The sun will really do a number on your hair. Would it be fair to say that Olivia is progressive while Ethan is stuck in his way? Yeah, Natalie. Olivia has also talked about on her social media that she has been kind of gradually becoming more and more accepting, more open-minded, more progressive, especially in regards to political and social issues. And especially in realizing that, like, the takes she's had in past seasons of like, I can just love Ethan for Ethan and his political views are his and mine are mine, that take was like really not the best, which I think is great. She's, if nothing else, she's continuing to demonstrate like a desire to be open to learning new things, and she's doing a lot of introspection about like What do I really believe? What are my morals and values? Rather than just like accepting them de facto from like a church or from a parent or, you know, I don't know, like media or family or friends or whoever. She's like, it seems to be doing, or she seems to be doing a lot of introspection. Yes, we love a growth moment. Yeah, Captain Quesadilla, I think Ethan is doing a good amount of poor me. And I think part of that is because he's had a female caregiver for his whole life, right? He went from being a child in his mother's home to being an adult child with Olivia. And this is really common in fundamentalism, that women's job is to caretake men. And now that a woman has walked away from him, he's kind of like, okay, well, I don't have my mommy anymore. Like, what do I do? I think he's struggling to reckon with the reality that he no longer has someone to sort of smooth and you know, stroke his ego and take care of him practically. Yeah, Cobblegen, exactly. Yeah. Okay, let's keep going. 17 minutes and 3 seconds. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
So you're happy now with your family?
That was definitely a... Okay, let's talk about this moment. Hold on. Pause. Actually, well, hold on. We'll give it a sec.
Okay, I'm gonna take a break. I'll be back later.
With paperwork?
What?
With paperwork?
It's not like I can go print out paperwork right now, but we need to figure this out. So I'll be back later to figure it out.
Ooh. Don't like. Okay, several things. First and foremost, the hands on the back of the chair, the like really heavy way that he put his hands on the back of that chair, and the way that he was postured. Hold on, I'll rewind by a couple of seconds.
I'll be back later to figure.
Hold on. Yeah, this. He was previously leaned over the counter, being kind of like, you know, floppy and whatever. And now, well, maybe not leaned over the counter, but he was like a lot more relaxed. And now this body language is very stiff, very confrontational. We talk a lot on the channel about how abuse often does not look the way that it's represented in popular media, right? The like Law and Order SVU type of thing. And I think this is a good example of that. I want to be clear. I'm not calling Ethan an abuser. I am not saying definitively that that's what happened. I'm only using this opportunity or this moment as an opportunity to educate about the way that subtle abuse can present itself. And this very much can be an example of what that looks like, right? There's often a lot of silent and unspoken communication, typically through a body language, but it can also be other things. But first of all, like the slamming of the hands on the back of the chair and the way that he kind of like squared up on her, not a great sign. Followed by the fact that she was like, gotta go. That's, I think, again, a good example of what abuse and like covert abuse can look like, because especially her reaction of being like, oh my God, I have to get out of here, is not a great sign. If you notice this happening with a family member, with a friend, do try to position yourself as a safe person, especially because there's often a feeling of like, I'm so stupid, I'm so dumb, people are going to judge me, or everyone's going to think that I'm an idiot for staying with this person, or, you know, why didn't I leave earlier? People are going to say all of the things that they say about like, just leave, or, you know, don't put up with that. Positioning yourself as a safe person looks like being non-judgmental, looks like being accepting, looks like not giving advice, but rather providing somebody space to just talk about how they feel, and to continue to be a person that they can come back to, that they know will be there for them, right? Regardless of what they've said or done, regardless of the circumstances, those are the people that can help someone to actually feel safe enough to leave a relationship where there's abuse happening. And so especially like not trying to pump somebody for information, but like in a scenario like this saying like, hey, that felt kind of uncomfortable. Do you want to talk about it? Or like, hey, you seem, a little stressed, a little overwhelmed. Do you want to talk about it? Is there anything on your mind? How can I help? Like, what's going on? All of that can be much more helpful than like, hey, was he trying to intimidate you? What's going on? Like, I'll beat him up. Like, don't do that. Don't be that way, because it puts somebody in the middle and it can cause someone to feel even more panicked than they already are. My parents were emotionally childish and found religion, which didn't help the emotional intelligence even to this day. At 32, I have to remind myself I was raised around emotionally inept people. Kyle, yeah, that's very common for fundamentalism, especially because, religion continues to benefit when people don't think critically about, like, for example, conflicting values and beliefs. 100% this and worse, but not technically violent, definitely happened in my parents' marriage. Yeah. Actually, that's a good point. That just reminded me. This can also happen, between parents and children, right? It's somewhat common, I would say, for, covert abuse in, family, households to look this way, where parents don't have to tell their kids, like, I'm going to beat your ass when we get out of here. But people who have survived childhood abuse talk about, like, the look, right? Or it's a weird, it's hard to quantify, but there's like a change in the air, like the room gets cold, like all of the oxygen gets sucked out of the room. And it's like a feeling of like, oh, fuck, like it's happening. Like as soon as we get somewhere private, bad things are going to happen. So if you notice that also, again, do try to be a safe person and position yourself as someone that people can talk to. Yes. Yeah. The feeling in the air. Yes. Haunted Rose. Absolutely. Kyle. Yeah. My dad was terrifying when he was angry. He never physically hurt me, but the emotional shit was wild. Yeah. Very common. And also still abuse, right? It's really important that we validate that as being fucked up. You don't need to prove to anyone that your abuse was bad enough in order to be deserving of compassion and of help, right? Okay. Boop. Yeah, oh God, the picking up of the shoe. Yeah. The hands tightening around things that they're holding. Also, I think friendly reminder at this point that if somebody punches walls, breaks things, hits things around you, breaks your belongings, fucks with your stuff, that can also be abuse, right? They don't have to be hitting you specifically. Abuse is often something that will escalate over time. And so just because somebody hasn't hit you or physically harmed you doesn't mean that they're not being abusive or that this is an unsafe relationship for you to be in, if that stuff is happening. Okay. 17 minutes and 46 seconds. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Figure it out.
Yeah, especially knowing that he struggled with anger, not a great sign. Okay. I think this is Micah again. Oh, no, it's not. Oh, God. Okay, we're looking at a bathroom, and there's Kim.
The last couple of months have really been a time of transition for me and the girls. I'm actually living in Florida right now, which it feels like I've come full circle because this is where I grew up. Barry and I are still not divorced yet, and I get frustrated that the divorce is taking so long. Financially, it's a little tight right now, and it's, emotionally exhausting. But once the divorce happens, I'll be in a little bit better place financially. In the meantime, we're co-parenting, and it's working okay.
Mom?
Yeah?
Can I run now?
Thank you, Gems.
Okay. Be back before the sun sets.
I know.
Ken asked me to move in with him, and I thought about it pretty hard. But ultimately, I decided at this stage in my life, it's more important for me to have a home that's not dependent on anyone else. Right now, I need a little bit of time and space by myself. I need to just focus on me and the girls. So I bought a houseboat.
I don't understand this at all. Don't understand this at all. Hi, Robin. So the Discord is available to members of the Patreon. So the link to subscribe to the Patreon is
I was at
in the
first kind
description.
of worried, like living on a boat. Wait, how's that gonna work?
It's just the coming up, and I'm gonna mute it for the music. Yeah, the houseboat thing. Confused by that. Okay, yeah, it's just the coming up again. I'll unmute it in a second. The double divorces is giving 2 girls 2 shirts. From Portlandia. Yeah, houseboat. Okay. The fridge is outside.
I grew up on a sailboat, and I loved it, so I bought a boat.
Uh-huh.
Technically, it's a 33-foot Chris Craft.
What does that even mean?
It's got just enough living space to be manageable. The beds in the main cabin area we use as couches during the day. And then there's a bed at the bow of the boat where it kind of comes to a V. 1 or 2 people can sleep there. The bathroom is very small, but it gives us somewhat of, you know, indoor plumbing.
Okay.
We really just use it to store our makeup and shower supplies and things like that. We can use it, but the bathrooms at the marina are so nice and big, most of the time we just grab our bags and walk over there, especially for showering.
Absolutely not. Yeah, Christine. Yeah, AKA my kids can't have privacy.
Can you move your purse and phone?
I was at first kind of worried, like living on a boat. Wait, how's that gonna work?
Yeah, he's like, yeah.
When Mom told me she was buying a boat, I was kind of surprised. It's really different.
So no, Kim is not remarried. She's currently... Sorry, pause. She is currently still married to Barry because they have not been divorced yet. But she is in a relationship with a man named Ken, who was one of her son's teachers when he was like learning how to fly a plane or get his pilot's license or whatever. So she's in a relationship with that man. He invited her to move in with him and she said no. Allegedly. I don't know if I buy that, personally. Yeah. I just... Also, we're going to talk about this later, but the boat doesn't run. So the boat is just stuck in the marina. Like, it just sits there on the docks. Just... Why would you, like, can't you just, like, buy I don't know, a condo, a townhouse, rent an apartment? She was living in an apartment last season. I don't know. Yeah, Natty, I don't understand the thinking process here either, especially because she has 3 children who are living with her part-time, and they don't have a door to close. Like, what? Yes, yeah, docking fees and all of that, Kyle. That's a good point. Yeah, no, Ray Guns, it doesn't run. No. So she can't sail the boat anywhere. It's a big floating apartment that I would imagine is probably pretty expensive. I don't know anything about the cost of boats, but I can't imagine it's cheap. Yeah, Lou, in a minute. We're almost halfway through, so. I know, Natty. Yeah. If there's a bathroom or shower, she has to dump the gray water eventually. Oh, ew. Kyle, I didn't even think about that. That's yuck. Ew, ew, ew. Okay, yes. Little E, I had the same thought. I really am curious whether she's living with Ken part-time, maybe. And she just doesn't want to have, like, the look of, like, woman who's not divorced and already has a boyfriend kind of a thing. Especially because the response last season was, like, not good, I don't think. So I am curious if that's just a cover, you know? I know, Mackenzie. I was thinking that too. I feel like Kim has lived in like 33 places since she's gotten divorced. And like, can we just pick a place and settle, please, so that your kids can have some stability? Especially because you raised them in a family that's like, that was hellbent on, you know, no divorces. You marry the first person that you love and like all this stuff. And then, whoops, not for Kim and Barry though. I think she was embarrassed at the discussions after her DUI. Yes. Little E, I think so too. Which also is offensive because they excluded the DUI from last season. I don't know if that was Kim's decision or not. I would assume she had something to do with it because otherwise the show, I'm sure, would want to talk about it. Yes. Yeah. For those of you who don't know, Kim got a DUI. I don't know if it was in the middle of last season or maybe in between seasons 2 and 3, but Kim was arrested because she was driving drunk. And I think she crashed her car actually in like a ditch or something. Maybe I think she crashed her car in a ditch. And thankfully no one was hurt, at least not hurt seriously that I remember. But yeah, there's like a mugshot and everything, and they didn't discuss it on last season, which feels, I don't know, feels weird to me. Yeah, Little E, it really feels that way. I think you need it, at least when I worked in insurance, but it would be wise in Florida because, insurance, for a boat. Yeah. Boop, boop, boop. So has Tim Wallace. It's what you do with that experience that's important. That's true, Kyle. Yeah, getting a DUI is not inherently a bad thing. Well, it's not inherently like a, you're a terrible person thing is what I mean. It doesn't have to be a sign that you're like irredeemable. And I think it's also important to talk about, for example, a family that didn't even allow their kids to have sugar, let alone alcohol, but then a parent gets a DUI. Like, that's a hell of a contradiction, I think that's important to address. Yeah, Mia, Kim crashed the car because she was drunk. I just have ship/boat envy. I don't think you could pay me enough money to live on a boat. Not if somebody was paying me a monthly stipend would I live on a boat. I just, yeah, no. I don't like the wishy-washy, just, no. I feel the same way about RVs, though. Like, I want to be on land. I want to be, like, flat, Housing situations that, like, move stress me out. It's just, like, a motion sensitivity thing. Yes, big waves, fine. The small rocking motions, no. And I don't even really get seasick. It's just, like, the discomfort of it all. Okay, anyways, we're lost in the sauce. 21:42, pressing play. In 3, 2, 1.
Get out. I gotta get out. You get out. You get out.
And all 3 of you brush your teeth, and all 3 of you make me.
Okay.
This is so weird.
It is kind of tight on the inside, but to be honest, like, we're not inside, like, a whole lot. Mercy, I need you to move. I'm gonna go through.
I've realized the girls have been living in a very large house, and here I am presenting them with this tiny little boat to live on. But it's sort of a less expensive way of having waterfront property. I want them to see the boat as gaining a bike trail and a river and all of this natural beauty around them.
And losing
the girls are going
privacy
through their
and
teenage
space.
years, and there's enough changes there anyway. So I really worked hard to make it as livable for them as possible.
I've never grilled before. This is gonna be interesting.
Why don't you just pick something that's not a
Better
boat?
not ruin the food. Well, steak can't be too hard to grill, right?
Oh, definitely.
It takes a little bit of getting used to, cooking on the boat, because it's hard to make all of the food in the kitchen. We can, but it's easier if there's a main course on the grill.
All right, do some more.
This looks like camping.
I still want to have a sleepover on the boat with everyone in the family. Ethan, Micah, Mariah, Lydia, Isaac. It would be like a really small farm on the water.
A sleepover where?
Grilling anything. Dad makes it look so easy. Mom, I've kind of learned that she likes to have fun. She likes to live life in the moment. And I think spending time with Mom apart from Dad, I think that's helped our relationship. And also, I've grown up and I understand where Mom's coming from. And
okay, Gems,
nobody's
thank you.
perfect. Like, we all get through things. You think it's done? Oh, yeah. I don't know how to tell, like, how they're done. I think that's done. I think they're all done. I love being able to be on the boat and be on water just like Mom was when she was a kid. Sometimes if it's kind of small, it gets kind of cramped, but it kind of feels like an adventure living on the boat. Like, it's really fun.
Oh. Surely she was not coached to say that.
Mommy, tell me. I can't tell what I did.
Oh, I think those look great. I think it's fine.
Actually grilled steaks.
Yeah, I'm proud of you.
Where are the green beans?
High five.
You're a great grill and a great girl. That sounds like something Dad would say. I know. I just reminded myself of Dad.
Okay. Initially, I feel like it was hard for the
Beans
girls
on
to
the bed.
adjust
Oh my
to
God.
the divorce. But now that we're a couple years into it, they have seen, okay, life goes on. It's okay. I still have 2 really good parents. And of course, things are different, but they're good.
Is it good?
Do you like it, Mercy?
Yeah, it's good, especially for your first time.
For me, my life isn't really simple right now. Ever since Barry and I separated, I've been trying to figure out where I'm gonna go and what I'm gonna do, and it's hard not knowing a lot of things.
Okay, listen, I want to take this moment to pause and talk about the fact that living in a small space is not an inherently bad thing, right? There are lots of people who live, first of all, in small spaces generally, but also live in poverty and have to live in small houses because we're all being oppressed and can't afford to live in a larger space. That doesn't inherently make your childhood bad, right? It is, I think, somewhat common for people to have fond memories of growing up in their homes, or like, especially for people to say, like, I didn't realize we were poor, right? Like, I had that experience as a child. I thought we went camping all the time because we just really liked being outdoors. But the reality was that my parents couldn't afford to take us on vacations. And so we went camping 2 hours from home once a year, and that was our vacation. And we loved it. You know, that was something that was fun and exciting, and I don't know, it was just what we did, right? And I think there is a difference between somebody who is like genuinely not able to afford a larger space and making the best of it and doing their best to make sure that their kids have their needs met and feel valued and, like, you know, all the things, right? And what Kim is doing, which is choosing a place that she knows is too small for her kids simply because she wanted to, right? Like, Barry still owns the big house. So, like, they could still live there and just live in separate bedrooms, and she chose not to do that. She could live in an apartment because she did last season and is just choosing not to do that. It's unclear whether or not this is actually the case. It's entirely possible that this boat is just a thing that they spend like one weekend a month on or something. I don't know. And live with Ken the rest of the time. But still, I want to highlight the fact that this is Kim choosing to put her kids in an environment that she knows is not big enough for them. Bed beans. Well, when she was walking out onto the deck of the boat, she had the green beans sitting on the bed. They were just like sitting on a little pot holder on the bed. It was really wild. I don't think parents understand the importance of privacy. Growing up with absolutely no privacy, I still feel like I'm constantly being watched 24/7, and I'm 28, living in my own mind. Yes, absolutely. Privacy is a really important thing for kids. What? I'm confused. I don't know what the joke is in Discord that's happening, but we're just going to let it go because it's not all jokes are for me. I feel like this is intentional because she doesn't want her kids around. Honestly, Zoe, I wouldn't be surprised by that either. I grew up getting all my clothes from school, sales and hand-me-downs in the clearance rack. I thought it was so fun to find hidden treasures. Yeah, I didn't realize it meant anything about my family's finances. Me too, Melly. I thought we shopped at Goodwill because it was fun. And then when like vintage fashion became popular, I was like, hey, I know how to do that. I grew up thrifting, and I know all the days for when things are 50% off, and then there's sales and all that kind of stuff. I just thought it was the thing we did. I was picturing a plate of kidney beans. Katie, that would be much funnier. I know people who lost the right to have a door on their bedroom as a punishment for doing normal kid things. Yep. Very much, Beth. Which is so not okay. That's not an appropriate punishment for a child. Nothing will give back the life of someone's 18-year-old child. Wait, Toin, what? I'm so sorry. I think I missed the first thing that you said. I was picturing, plate of kidney beans. Yeah, no, it was green beans. Okay. Let's keep going. 24:54, pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
If a steak isn't tender, is that the griller's fault or the cow's fault?
That's a good question.
Blame it on the cow.
But I do know I don't miss having that big house. The big house was beautiful and absolutely huge, the biggest house I've ever lived in. But I would rather be on a small boat with my girls than in a big house with fill in the blank.
Did you ask your kids about that? No, because you just made the decision for them and for you without asking anyone. Okay, Barry's just running. It's just B-roll of him running.
Last several months have been really challenging for me personally through the process of this divorce. Just having to mentally prepare yourself for the
honey
long
and
haul
peanut butter, yes.
and not get frustrated.
Also
But
honey,
in the
banana,
meantime, I
and
have
marshmallow
started
fluff.
running so I can get out
So
there
good.
and just get in touch with the great outdoors. You know, I can clear my mind, and I have a running partner. How's it going?
It's
You up for a good jog
Mariah.
today?
What a surprise.
I usually don't talk while I run.
I know. Mariah has moved from Tampa to Cairo, and she's home with me. And, you know, as a father, I'm just here welcoming her with open arms. You're speedy. Holy Toledo. I can't run that fast.
Oh, it's perfect. Bye. I've been home for a little less than a week. I loved Tampa, but I really wanted to save as much money as I could, and I really want to not rush into the next phase of life or make any big decision when I'm not 100% sure what I want to do, because I don't want to be stuck in a lease and somewhere that I know isn't my place.
Valid.
It says to go slow,
Slow.
Dad.
Children at
Oh,
play.
look, I remember this place.
Because this is like your play.
Totally not staged.
A few years ago, you were here.
Yep. Micah and I renting together was very fun. Not
Yep.
for Micah, for me.
Yeah.
I was 17 when I moved out. I was a very stubborn teenager. I wanted to do my thing, and I wanted to do it my way. And my parents had rules, and they were like, well, you can follow these rules, or, you know, you can go live in a place where you make your own rules. And I chose to go live in a place where I made my own rules.
Okay, real quick. We talked in the main channel video that I made about how people, when they leave a problematic family of origin and then come back to the family, often people are confused because they're like, why would you do that, right? This is what it looks like to sort of delude yourself into thinking that your family's problematic norms are totally normal, and also to do the thing where we cover up our parent or our family's problematic decisions by sugarcoating it, right? We're putting a rose-colored haze over what seems to have actually happened, which, to be fair, we weren't there, and it's an edited, TV show that is pretty produced, it seems. At the time, the rhetoric seemed to be that Mariah and Micah were not welcome in their home because of the things they wanted to do. Like, they were essentially kicked out or pushed out. But now, it was Mariah being a stubborn teenager, and she says, oh, well, I made the choice. I just, I left because I didn't want to, blah, blah, blah. And I was just being such a silly little teenager. I don't think that's what happened, though. Like, this energy, the way that we're talking about it, this very self-condescending tone is pretty hallmark of people who are trying to sugarcoat over the problematic things that their family has done. And so if you notice this happening, especially in yourself, do be aware that problematic families and dysfunctional families have a way of kind of sucking people back in, especially cyclically. And that you don't have to co-sign anybody's shitty decisions. You don't have to lie in order to protect people. And you're not being disrespectful. You're not being hurtful. You're not being mean. You're not being shitty to your parents by saying the truth, right? Which is, it seems like in this case, that Mariah was kicked out or pushed out of her family for not towing the party line, which at the time was modesty, was religion, was staying in Cairo and listening to whatever her parents had to say and doing the thing where you just date the first person or marry the first person that you date and all of this stuff. Even if she chose to leave, you can make your child so uncomfortable they choose to leave as a minor. Yeah, you're a bad parent. Absolutely. Yeah, time to make notes for therapy. Captain Quesadilla. Yeah, it's very common, especially if you feel this pull within yourself. Just notice that, right? Be kind to yourself while you're in process with that, but also it's helpful to practice unlearning this idea that you're being mean or shitty or wrong or, you know, fucked up to your family. Like, oh, I could never do that to them. I could never say shitty things about them like that. Like, you're not. You're telling the truth and your parents did shitty things. If somebody feels bad because you're telling the truth about what they did, that's something that they should sit with. It's not your job to protect them from the actual outcome of the way that they behaved. That's, in essence, people pleasing. And it's harmful. It's harmful to you because you're denying yourself the validity of what actually happened, but it can also be harmful to them, right? Because you're not being honest with them about the problems with their behavior, and it doesn't give them the opportunity to learn from that, right? They just walk away from that thinking like, okay, this was fine, totally okay, whatever. In a dysfunctional family system, usually they're going to think that anyways. But with friends or, you know, a partner or a loved one or whatever, it is important for you to be honest about that and not just smooth over top of it because you're afraid that you're being mean to them. Stop seeing me. I'm sorry, Kiara. A friend recently told me to give myself some grace. We all got to remember that. Yes, Kyle, very much so. Also, what does my parents have rules and they said I could follow them or find a place to make my own rules? What is the threat there? Being kicked out? Yes, exactly, little e. This is also the thing too, right? That like, personally, I disagree with the like, I'm responsible for you until you're 18 and then you're on your own thing. But bare minimum in our American legal system, you are responsible for the care and the safety and the rearing of a child until they're 18. And so if you tell your child who's under 18, your choices are to listen to me or to get out, you're failing at your duty as a parent, right? That's not how we resolve conflict with a child. It's just not appropriate. I know the Nightbot is going wild. Like, hello. Okay, let's keep going. 27. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
But I left home so quickly, never even said bye to my family or anything.
Yeah,
and
why is that,
just
Mariah?
having the doors open, I feel like in a way I'm closing out a chapter that I never closed out.
You were in Tampa. Did you run with Blackjack at all?
No, I walked with Blackjack, but I would go for runs on the river quite often.
Yeah.
Dad gave me the master bedroom with the biggest closet, and that's bigger than my apartment. But me and Blackjack stay in there, so I guess that's nice.
The room she's in was Kim and my room. It was just vacant and unused. Prior to that, it was needing her. Mariah's putting it to good use.
Half the time the girls are here, half of the time they're with Mom. So half the time it's just Dad, Isaac, and I.
Isaac's gone quite often.
Flying a lot and working. Lydia has been traveling like...
Hold on, pause. I do just want to highlight how fucking weird it is that she's living in the room that used to be her parents' bedroom when they were married. Oof. I just don't think... I don't think that would feel comfortable for me. And if sure, whatever, that's fine. But... feels odd. Also, the way that Barry is, that room was needing her and she's putting it to good use. It's giving like, I don't know how to function if there's not a woman in my home, even though Mariah is like just barely an adult. Hi, Robin. Hi, Mickey. Good to finally catch live with my girl. Robin, I'm glad you made it. Thanks for coming. They're good dogs. Too much volume of dog for me though. Oh, the big dog. I know. I don't mind big dogs, but oh my gosh, isn't that emote so good, Lou? I made a new emote in Discord that says pink pony slug, and it makes me really happy. Literally yesterday. I'm so glad we acknowledged that. Yeah, it's weird. Barry also has a habit of trying to parentify his daughters. Last season, it was Lydia, where he sat down with her and disclosed a lot of really personal details about the marriage and about his feelings and himself and all this conflict with Kim to Lydia. And now he seems to be doing it to Mariah. It turns out I have a big dog, but I just see a little baby. I feel that. Our dogs are technically medium-sized, but I think they're little, and they're not. Yeah, big dogs that don't think they're big. Yes, exactly. Okay, let's keep going. Are you guys testing the spoiler command in Discord? 60 pounds is small compared to my childhood dog. 120 pounds of Newfie Lab. Oh my God, Scout. That's a big dog. Okay, let's keep going. 28-22. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
All year, all over the place. And of course, there's Blackjack. Yeah. Oh no! No, he sees the cat. No! You are a big dog! Blackjack is like me on steroids.
He looks untrained.
So you were like in Tampa and how quickly things change.
Yeah.
Well, you know, Tampa was a big city with big city costs.
Mm-hmm.
And you got the full effect of that, right?
Yep.
There's a reason why I like living in a small town.
Yeah.
See what's
happening
right now?
The cost of living is lower.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all.
But there was also another reason I left Tampa.
Hold on, pause. This is, yes, it's very I told you so. But in this very passive-aggressive and covert way that's like, see, you've learned your lesson now, right? And it is spooky when parents do this. I want to encourage people to validate. If this happened to you as a child, please know, just because people don't yell, just because someone isn't screaming doesn't mean that they're not being shitty or cruel or sometimes abusive, right? This is very much the like, I'm shaming you and rubbing your nose in it and being really shitty and fucked up to you thing, except that I'm not saying it out loud, right? And a lot of times people do this under the, I don't know, intention or under the impression that people around them don't see it, and like they do. They very much do, and it's uncomfortable. It's really fucking uncomfortable to be in company for, because it's like a, okay, you know, like when people are being passive aggressive at a dinner party kind of a thing, and they're like, you know, in a fight with their partner, and everyone's just like, well, anyways, we should get going. Like, it's very uncomfortable. So again, please validate if that happened to you in any relationship. Know that this is fucked up. It's not an okay thing to do. And just because, again, they're not yelling doesn't mean that it's not abusive or shitty. Not me unmuting after a phone call with a customer who did the exact same thing. Imogen, I'm glad. I'm happy to offer you the reassurance because you deserve it. Okay. 29:05. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
I went through hell recently, and I have a lot of things that I'm trying to sort through in my head.
I've never had like a super serious relationship, and this is kind of my first one, at least the first one that I've dove into, moved across country and settled down with.
Right. I'm a little bit surprised that he's gotten so serious so quickly, but I mean, he seems happy.
You hesitated for a second, why?
I guess just one interaction I saw.
Okay, anyways.
Well, it's definitely good to be back. I thought I had my whole life planned out about a year ago, and, you know, sometimes things don't always work out.
Yeah.
Last year, there was one particular part of my life that I definitely kept private.
Prepare to be annoyed.
And that was just a, relationship that one day I just found out some things that he had kept from me. That's when everything started unraveling. And I made a last-minute decision to come home.
Also with the business suit.
I still wonder about the man that I thought I knew. But at the same time, like, the most important thing for this is not sharing what happened or my sad story, but just what I learned. Which is, you gotta push forward.
No, Mariah, no.
You have no option.
That's not true.
It's easy to fall into poor me mentality, but it's not poor me. It's
yes,
learn
it can
to do
be.
better.
Oh my God.
Just stay here. As
Okay,
long
hold on. Besides the fact that this is the most like vague, childish way to have this discussion, it's also super unhealthy. This is not at all how anyone who is like educated about trauma or relationships or conflict would ever tell someone to move forward from a traumatic breakup, right? Obviously, we don't know what happened. And I want to be clear, it's her right to keep that private, right? I'm not saying that like she should tell us. Like, it's not an entitlement of perfect strangers who are watching a TV show to know about the deep and traumatic intricacies of her life. I think it's really valid, and it's her God-given right to keep that private. And also, if you're gonna bring it up, first of all, I think it's one thing to just say, listen, I had a relationship when I was living in Tampa. It didn't go well. Like, I don't want to talk about it. It was traumatic. And so, like, that's that. What I learned is that I just need to keep moving forward, right? Like, again, still not, like, that's not healthy advice, but I feel like that's a lot, I don't know, like a less, like, drama. It feels like clickbait. It feels like a clickbait way to talk about a relationship, which is just annoying and unhelpful. I think also there is something to be said for people who are in the middle of conflict, not trying to position themselves as experts on the way to recover from traumatic breakups, because, like, first of all, you're in the middle of it. But second of all, like, again, this is not healthy advice. The truth is that the poor me mentality is just acknowledging that you've been victimized, which is really helpful. Oh yeah, we should do a bio break. You're right, Captain Quesadillo, sorry. Acknowledging that you've been a victim doesn't make you bad, or especially people say this a lot of like, I don't want to be in the victim mentality. Like, why? If you've been victimized, then you should acknowledge that you've been victimized. That's totally okay. And it's also not a foregone conclusion that you'll just live there, right? Acknowledging that you've been victimized is actually one of the best ways to move out of that phase of healing, right? Refusing to acknowledge that you've been victimized often keeps you stuck in this emotional, like, cycle of not really being able to move forward or really process. But, you know, alternatively, being truthful about the facts of the matter can really be a catalyst for healing and for moving forward. So yes, we should really stop stigmatizing the word victim. Okay, we're going to take a pee-pee break. It is 2:13, so go empty your skin suits. Make sure that you get some water and feed yourself. And we'll be back in 10 minutes, so 2:24 or whatever hour it is, and 24 minutes for y'all, wherever you're at in the world. So, yeah, go piss, girl. We'll be right back. Hello, welcome back. Just in time for me to burp. How was our break? Did you get water? Did you feed yourself? Don't forget to take your meds also. Welcome back, burp. Okay, good, Gems. I'm glad. Captain Quesadilla, you feel better? Good. I'm glad. I kept drinking rum and Pepsi. Honestly, respect that. I'm my worst enemy sometimes. Liv, what'd you do? Let me scroll back up. Was there any fuckery? It doesn't look like there was any kerfufflery while I was on break. Hi, Hattie. Yes, exactly. Hydrate or dihydrate. Let me see. Hold on, just a reminder that what? Oh yeah. Thank you, Joe. There's gonna be a Doctor Who watch party tomorrow if you guys want to go hang. Joe is hosting, right? Right, Joe? You're hosting. I think somebody's hosting. Okay, great. Yeah, it's Joe. Joe is hosting. So if you're into Doctor Who or want to get into Doctor Who, or you just want to hang, honestly, you just want to hang out with some friends and be in community, there is going to be that happening tomorrow. What time is it? Why am I asking when I could just look at the events in our Discord server? Why am I this way? Thank you. 5:30 CST. So Central Standard Time. So yeah, go hang out, go have fun. Aaron and I are playing D&D with our friends tomorrow. So we will miss it. But yeah, if you're into Doctor Who, want to get into Doctor Who, just want to hang out with some friends, go hang out. It's gonna happen at 5:30 CST. Doctor Who watch party. Yeah. I know you have been so good about hosting your own events and stuff while I was out, which makes me really happy. I was a little nervous the server would just go dark, but it did not. You guys were hanging out watching couples therapy and watching Doctor Who, so that makes me happy. I'm glad you guys are hanging out with each other. We're too chatty to go dark. That's valid. Yeah, I know Christine has been subbing in to stream things that you guys can't see, apparently. I posted a music rec. Oh, yes, Lou, I saw it. I haven't listened to it yet, but I'm going to listen to it probably on my way home. The Good Luck Babe, except medieval. Yeah, honestly, Captain Quesadilla, that's very fair. Never stop, never quit. What is that? It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, ref? No Man Left Behind. By Icon Chapel Roan. I know. Did you guys see the crowd at Lollapalooza? Ooh, like I love it. And it makes me really happy and proud of her and for her. But I also would be shitting bricks if I was at Lollapalooza. Like I just do not fuck with that. Crowds like that are so scary. I wish, you know what's funny? In my teens and early 20s, stuff like that, I was like, yeah, you know, I was like having so much fun and I thought it was great and I loved the idea of being in a big crowd and whatever. And now as an adult, I'm like, so many things could go wrong. There's so many safety risks here and I don't like it. It's just not, it's not my thing. Yeah, also the sensory overload aspect. Hattie, you are very correct. Thank you, Jamie. I feel very validated. It's too hot to be in a puddle of people. Very fair. I don't know. I think the other thing too is just that like I value my personal space and not getting buffeted around. I don't know if it's because I'm old. It's probably that. But I feel like especially post quarantines, there's like a different energy to live music that feels kind of like inconsiderate. I don't know. Is that just me? It pushes my buttons to have people like knocking into you or like when people want to get to the front, especially when they're like body checking you and stuff, like a simple excuse me would suffice, you know? Also, just like nudge. You don't have to like body check me like you're trying to knock me down. I just don't really fuck with that energy. So Kyle, okay, yes. The people who show up to music festivals and concerts wearing like pasties and that's it, or wearing like very cute cunty but very revealing outfits. Like I want that level of like energy and excitement. I don't know. I envy that a lot and I appreciate that because I think it's fucking sick. And also, honestly, as a person who really struggled with my body image in my teens and early 20s, it makes me so happy to see people embracing themselves and loving their bodies and not being afraid to just wear the outfits that bring them joy. I feel like that's been a big change since like the diet culture bullshit of the 90s and early aughts. Like it makes me really happy to see people wearing just, I don't know, whatever they want. I see like people, you know, at concerts and whatever, and I'm just like, you go. I don't know. Yeah, I'm too small to deal with crowds. I do feel that, Melly. I'm short and it doesn't go well for me. It's not really an age thing either, Mickey. I won't be in those crowds. Just too much for me. Okay, Hattie, that's very valid. Go to Irish music then. Via stadium shit. I will say I don't really fuck with stadium concerts anymore. Unless it's someone that I really want to see, then like it's small venue only. Thank you. I know music festivals are so expensive. Yeah, and COVID too. COVID is definitely a risk also. Old school raving has always been accepting. That's true, Kyle. That's very fair. You know, I've never actually been to a rave. I feel like it could be fun. Maybe I should go to one. Me being like, I don't like big crowds. I'll go to a rave though. Donna, hello. I'm glad you're here. It's nice to see you, friend. My therapist's window overlooked Lala and they said it was super crowded. Okay, that's cool, Leo. What a cool fucking office location, first of all. I'm going to see the Dresden Dolls and Gogol Bordello in Boston on November 1st. Ooh, Little E, I hope it's so fun. Be safe. Yeah, actually, that's a good point, Toin, because old school, like, metal and, like, hard rock concerts have been the same also, especially with, like, mosh pits and stuff, right? If somebody gets knocked down, they get picked back up. It's a level of, like, I don't know, consideration. It's kind of strange. It's like a community care thing, actually. Like that we're all sort of in this space together and we don't want anyone to get hurt. And so people just get picked back up. It's cool. I want to mosh, but I'm too COVID conscious. Very valid. Yeah, do be careful with COVID and all of that, because even though people aren't talking about it, that doesn't mean it's not happening. It is still very much an issue. To be fair, there are raves of all sizes and it's usually pretty easy to find a spot that allows you to have a bit of personal space. Interesting. Okay, that's good to know, Chrissy. Yeah, Kyle, metal's about teamwork. Joe, I get knocked down. I love that song. I know that people are annoyed by that song, but I love it personally. Okay. You mentioning COVID just reminded me that I nearly had a panic attack yesterday when my mask broke while we were at the doctor. Oh no. I was able to fix it enough to wear it, but I have a bunch of backup masks in my bag now. Good call, Lou. I always have an emergency one in my like wallet / bag because you never know. You never know. Okay, let's watch the show. We are at 31 minutes and 3 seconds, and we're pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
As long as you need to get your feet under you.
Yeah.
For the next chapter.
Yeah.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah. I know this is where I'm supposed to be right now.
Yeah.
I need
So
a little bit
condescending.
of healing.
I don't like him.
The door's open, the light's on. Stay as long as you want.
All right.
I don't like him. Love that we're calling it South Florida. Like, Micah just refuses to name the city that he's in.
My lifestyle is very different here in Florida versus California. I'm not single anymore. You know, everything I do is centered around my girlfriend, which is honestly great. It's nice feeling cared for and thought about all the time. But I've sure missed a lot of my friends from California that I had made. Haven't seen any of them since I moved. So I talked with my buddy Will, who's like my best friend in California. I convinced him to come down and see me and hang out and see my new life.
Y'all, I need a better chair. Actually, I have a better chair.
Do I know you?
It's just not assembled yet.
Man, it's been so long.
Yeah, Micah's a baby. They all are. They're all so young.
Will and I got really close when we were both living in LA. Every weekend we were hanging out. We clicked, and it's hard to unclick.
Man, it's good to see you.
Shirt
yeah,
is
man,
so ridiculous.
I've been busy as heck, honestly. Oh, yeah. It's been great.
Gems.
You want to drive around? I'll show you around.
Oh, yeah. Show me what's up.
Let's go.
Fun fact about Aaron and I is that we almost always put furniture together.
Oh, I didn't have my grills last time you saw me.
Oh, shoot.
I got them.
I saw him on FaceTime, but I haven't seen him in person.
Try and pull them out.
I'm not going to touch your teeth.
The dentist had to grind down my teeth. They're
Really?
permanent.
Wait, pull them out.
I can't pull them out. They're permanent. They're like affixed with some like adhesive.
Oh, crap.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh. I don't really have a brother that's like Will. You know, Will's unique, and he'll do things that my brothers are either too young or wouldn't do.
Gems, same.
It's fun to be around. As you can kind of see, the crowd is a little older.
Yeah, looks like it.
It's a fun little life I'm living down here.
Yeah, what are you doing for work?
Not fun stuff. I'm building fences right now.
Okay. The Micah I knew in LA was, we were young and we were sowing our oats and having fun a lot of the time.
Building fences?
Not doing so much work.
What does that
I know you
mean?
were like also traveling around doing modeling gigs. Since that kind of fallen by the wayside?
Temporarily, probably. And I don't necessarily want to travel as much because my girlfriend's here.
Right.
I used to travel all the
retirement
time, you
town?
know that. I used to like be a free spirit and just be able to go wherever I wanted.
Yeah, it was tough to
now
lock you down. I had to schedule you out to hang out.
Now I have ties, and the ties did bind. No, I'm kidding.
Micah is a little younger than I am, so I'm a little bit surprised that he's gotten so serious so quickly, but I think it's good for Micah. I think he thrives in like a family setting and a monogamous style relationship, so I think it's good for him. I mean, he seems happy.
You hesitated for a second. Why?
Why? First of all, just really quick, why are we already doing the like ball and chain thing when they're, first of all, only dating? Like, they're literally just dating. But second of all, he moved to be with her. He said that like, oh, this relationship seems different, so I wanted to move and blah blah blah, all this stuff. But you're treating her like she's an obligation, like a shackle that you're stuck with. That's bothersome to me. I don't know. Florida's one big retirement community. Honestly, fair. Yes, Hattie, he's way too young to be talking like this. I know that makes us sound like we're really old, but it's true. They're way too young to be talking like their life is over and like they've settled down and it's all over for them. Like, they are children. They are children. And there's literally no reason that they can't have like full and thriving and exciting and interesting lives still. Also, being in a like serious or long-term relationship doesn't mean that you have to give up fun. You just, now you have a person to go do fun with is the thing. That's the point. Like, a partner should be enriching, not subtracting from your life. Ugh. Yeah. Just, Hattie, I'm younger than him. Like, what the hell? Okay, thank you, Hattie. I feel especially validated now. It's not just me. Doing better than being taken care of by a woman. Ridiculous conversation. Yes, exactly, Abby. Okay. 3428. Pressing play. In 3, 2, 1.
I guess just one interaction I saw. I've spoken to Micah's girlfriend on the phone 4 or 5 times, maybe over the course of the last year and a half. She seems really nice, really pretty. But the first time I saw her was maybe not one of their best moments. They were having a little bit of a tiff where, you know, they were going at it a little bit.
Welcome to my home.
But, you know, I haven't really gotten to know her yet, so I'm curious to see if that's just a little one-off moment or if that's kind of the tone of the relationship.
I hate when people do that. Like, just tell us what you saw. If you're going to mention it, then...
Thank you, brother.
Just say it or don't.
Place, man.
You want a tour?
Oh, yeah, take me around.
So this is our bedroom, bathroom, and our closet.
Wow, look at those purses. It's a lot of designer purses. The house does not scream Micah to me. It seems to have a little bit more of a feminine touch.
Well, she lives there, so. And it was her house first, so.
I've never had like a super serious relationship, and this is kind of my first one, at least the first one that I've
I know,
moved
Marissa.
across country
No kidding.
and settled down with.
Right.
Something different, but I feel like I was ready for it because, after a while of like, say you go on first dates over and over again, it gets old.
Yeah, like what makes her different than past girls? Like, why did you decide to move across the country to move in with her? It's a pretty big decision.
Yeah, no, I've tried to pinpoint it. There's just something about her.
I don't know why. Maybe this is me being shitty, but I don't think that these are his questions. I would be willing to bet big money that the producers are off camera or like prepped him with like producers sanctioned questions, like little note cards that are like, here's your questions. Ask Micah these because we can't ask him them. I mean, okay, but Kyle, am I wrong? Also, can I just say, this is the other thing that's really funny to me. When men, especially men like this, say these things about like, well, the house doesn't really scream Micah. Like, okay, what does what does Micah's decor style look like? What's his typical way of decorating a space? What are the things that he gravitates towards? What styles? What colors? What finishes? What era? Anything? No, I didn't think so. Like, it's just really annoying because, I mean, it's such a common phenomenon amongst straight men to not have, like, decor at all in a house that when they do, women commonly talk about, like, oh my God, it was such a green flag that he had, like, art in his house and, like, not just a cheap, shitty couch from, like, the regular, like, the furniture warehouse, but he had, like, a nice couch and he had stuff in the kitchen and, he had more than 2 spoons and, like, this is a real thing that people talk about. So I find it really hard to believe that, like, Micah had a bunch of decor that just got rejected. Like she told him, get that shit out of here. Like kept all of her own things. I have a sneaking suspicion that a lot of the reason that the house is decorated with only her things is probably because he didn't have a whole lot of decor to begin with. And so they just left her stuff, Something that matters. Okay, fair, Scout. That's a good point. Not just any art. But still, even people who have just like stuff on the walls, like it's very common for women to be excited that men went to the effort of putting anything on the walls, let alone like nice art, Yes. Oh my God. This post is so funny. The bar is so low. I know. Yes. Yeah. Never learn to have preferences, but will complain about the preferences of their spouses. Absolutely. I really think this is one of the ways that misogyny harms men also, because it is seen as weak or inferior or feminine, God forbid, to explore your own interests in aesthetics and art and fashion and things that are typically like women things. And so they end up just being kind of like, I don't know, and then they default to what their partner has, which is not necessarily bad either, but don't complain about it then. Like, if you're not bringing anything to the table, if you're not willing to do the introspection and unlearning of problematic misogynistic beliefs, don't complain about her then. Like, I'm 36 and I don't know what my interior style is. I used to have stuff that I needed and got my depression done. Okay, Mia, fair. But struggling to decorate a place because you're depressed and feeling overwhelmed by doing self-introspection is very different than being like, ooh, art is feminine and like that would make me gay. God forbid, But it doesn't have to be nice, just vaguely important. Yes, exactly. No, it doesn't have to be expensive. No. I think just things that are thoughtful, like putting thought into your space, caring about your space being, representative. I don't remember where I saw this, but I saw something from like an interior designer or something, who was talking about how your home doesn't have to be expensive or filled with expensive things, but wherever you live, when you walk through the door, you should be able to sort of glean something about who you are as a person. It should be representative of you. And so the art that you put on the wall and like the stuff, like the things that you're choosing should be things that have something to say about who you are, where you're at, or, you know, your aesthetics, your interests, or whatever. And so it's not like you have to have fancy pantsy art on the wall, you know, but like having a bunch of stuff that is out and tells you something about the person living there is nice. I think that's a good rule of thumb, you know. Could be as simple as like having a bookshelf in the living room that has all of your tabletop games on it, you know, like it's not art necessarily, but it is unique to you. I keep quote books on my coffee table. I write down things that people say that are funny or inspirational. Oh my God, Kyle, I love that. I think that's so cool. Oh yeah, not personalizing because you're renting or whatever is totally different. My style is goth, both interior and in fashion. And it makes me so happy. Okay, I love that. Hannah and I also joke that when you look at the two of us together, she's very like Wednesday Addams and I'm very Enid. Like the two of us side by side looks very much like that still shot from the Wednesday show. Can we address that when asked why he likes her, Michael only says there's something about her. Okay, wait. Little E, that is such a good point. He really doesn't say anything about her specifically. That's kind of upsetting. It does kind of seem like the cab light thing. I saw someone say that earlier and I forgot to talk about it. But yes, it does kind of feel that way. Boop, boop, boop. What's ATLA? Yeah, what's that? We're mammals without fur. I have paintings my old college roommate and her mom did at various points. Okay, that's so cool. Oh, at various paint and sips. Oh my gosh, I love that. Katie, that's really cute. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Got it. I still haven't watched Avatar. I really should. I used to have a mini frame chalkboard at my apartment and chalk, and whenever someone visited, they could write or draw something. Yeah, see, I love that. I think that's cute. Boop, boop, boop. Mine would likely be all of my interests combined into one space. Yeah, I think that's the point. We have a big, what is the word? Maximalist wall. We have two maximalist walls actually in our living room that kind of do that. They're like art that's referential of like our favorite shows, our favorite animes, or different periods in our lives, and I don't know, silly nerdy things that we like and our aesthetics. It's really fun. Yeah, highly recommend. Okay, anyway, sorry, I derailed us again. 3557, pressing play. 3, 2, 1.
She got a hold of me.
Sounds like love.
Yeah. What does that even mean?
I love the feeling.
She's, I don't know, young love. There's something about it.
He may as well have said she got her claws in me.
My girlfriend is such a hard worker. She's such a strong-willed person, so it's because it's good, and there's a downside to that sometimes. But my personal opinion is that you're never going to meet the perfect person for you that like you just never have any conflict with. You never, I just don't think that exists. I feel like you're not going to find a soulmate. You kind of create one. So you find someone who is compatible with you, and then you work through your ups and downs.
Hold on. There's so many things. First and foremost, this, Christina, I love that. I do that all the time with my friends where I pick up their vocal stims also. So welcome to the club. This language, though, that he's using about how, like, you know, you're never going to find a perfect person really comes across as like, well, yes, like I'm settling. Yes, Cass, like we don't really get along, but you're never going to find the perfect person. So it's fine. You should not be saying that early on in a relationship, and especially when he's so young. There's a lot of red flags happening here. I don't disagree. Hi, Michelle. I'm glad you made it to the stream. I don't disagree about the comment of like soulmates being made rather than found. I think a lot of people have this, I mean, we're socialized too, right? To have this like fantasy of just happening upon our perfect person one day. And like, that would be nice. But the reality is that there's definitely going to be stuff we have to work through. And it should not be an uphill trudge. It should not be something that we're like, God, I'm fucking working away. Like you're at a factory job, right? There should be things that come up occasionally, especially in the early phases of a relationship, right? Growth that will happen that we'll have to navigate around or work through, but never the like, you know, marriage is hard, y'all kind of attitude about a relationship. That's a red flag. Please note that. I agree that there's no such thing as someone who's 100% perfectly matched to you in every way, but it's also weird that he's saying that so early and unprompted. Miss Nothman. Yes, exactly. Okay, let's keep going. 3634, pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, it's interesting. We're definitely learning a lot about each other. I didn't realize, apparently I'm such a uncleanly person.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the grossest thing that's happened so far?
Apparently I don't put my clothes away often enough.
Oh my God.
I leave beard hair in the sink, apparently. And it's his big deal.
She catches it every time.
The sink is never clean.
I made a face at that so hard that I almost had water come out of my nose, you guys. I feel as though I'm drowning. That was the weirdest thing that's ever happened to me. That's never happened to me before. I love that it happened live. Okay. Yeah, this also, I know, has he ever had to clean in his life? And like, no, because the family coerced Lydia into cleaning everything, actually. Hattie drowning in misogyny is so real. Yeah, the apparently, hello. I don't understand what his expectation was about living with another person, but it seems as though he was under the impression that he would never have to clean, which, where did that come from? Where did he learn that? Oh, I also want to point out here that this is the same man who brutally and relentlessly shamed Ethan for wanting to work things out with Olivia, because he said that Olivia was terrible, and he said all these things about how, like, well, I would never want my relationship to be like that. Look how the turntables. I just think it's worth pointing out that now that the shoe is on the other foot and Micah apparently has found someone that he loves and is really enamored with, even though there are a lot of disagreements and they seem to have issues, apparently, he's willing to stay and work it out. Isn't that just so interesting? I just think it's so interesting how he has all of a sudden changed his mind now that it relates to him. Hay Fever Ray, I think it's kind of like Aaron jokes with me all the time that he's the dish fairy. And I think it's kind of that, except that I'm aware that I leave my dishes sometimes. I don't think Micah is aware that he does this, right? I think his whole life he might have been under the impression that it's just kind of like, well, I don't know, things just go away. Like, he doesn't really have to think about it, you know? It's not really on his conscious mind where his dishes went or what happened to his dirty underwear or how the bathroom got cleaned. It just did, you know? Also, Mariah is much dirtier than he is, apparently. They talked about it in prior seasons. So I think that might have also been a poor benchmark that he wasn't as unclean as Mariah is. And so therefore he's a clean person. Yeah, Katie, exactly. Okay. 3654, pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Women. You can't live with them. You can't live without them.
Damn right, man.
No one should feel that way.
Which reminds me, I gotta finish up some chores. Want to dig a trench?
You're gonna put me to work? Let's do it.
While your friend is there?
Hey, Ethan.
Me and Olivia, we're gonna try to meet again today. I feel like she doesn't care. She's just moved on so fast. It's just very hard for me to wrap my mind around.
I still love you.
You told her you wanted a divorce. Oh, this show. Marissa, thanks for coming. Thanks for coming and hanging out.
Hey, Ethan. Hey.
Hi. Me and Olivia met the other day, and it wasn't the best meeting. There was a lot of
for months
feelings that came up. The most intense feelings are often anger, But after that goes away, it's just kind of sadness. But
go to therapy.
Today
Ethan.
we're gonna try to meet again and try to talk, I guess.
I guess.
It's okay if we maybe sit and talk in here. Okay.
Yeah, Melly, it seems that way.
When we talk, I'm
Caitlin, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Oh my
There's
God.
Like something inside of me that I feel like needs to be resolved.
Hold on. We got to talk about that. But first, Paige, Dolly, Eggie, Brittany, and Grace. Welcome to the McNugs. Caitlin just gifted you membership. So thank you, Caitlin, so much. I appreciate you. Max in Discord said this man's a wet sandwich. Oh my God. Caitlin, thank you for the memberships. I appreciate you. Okay, let's rewind and talk about Ethan's emotional repression. We're at 38:36. Pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
When we talk, I'm hoping to get some questions answered.
Hay fever, good point.
There's like something inside of me that I feel like needs to be resolved. I feel like she doesn't care. She's just moved on so fast. It's just very hard for me to wrap my mind around.
Hello? Pause. Hay Fever Ray said, I kind of feel like he threatened her into divorce thinking it would scare her into compliance and is now regretful since it's not working. Honestly, solid theory. I really don't disagree with this, I have to say, because Pumpkin, thank you for gifting 10 memberships. My God. Rachel, Hannah, and Allie Dell, you got one. Tegan, Silas, the Duchess of Muffins, Kay, Music, Ayla, and that's it. Welcome to McNugs. Thank you, Pumpkin. While I'm watching this and letting Link recover hearts in Hot Spring, I'm honestly kind of jealous of him. Okay, that sounds so nice, Kyle. I agree. Okay, also, hold on. I need to fix my hair because it's driving me bananas. Yes, exactly. How is it hard for you to wrap your mind around? This was your idea. And also, it's been months. It's not like they decided to get a divorce 2 weeks ago. Like, he initiated this process, but he also has been given the opportunity to wrap his mind around this for months and months and months. Like, literally, what is the problem? Like, what is the holdup here? I just don't understand. I'll have you know it's from my own hard-earned money dollars. Thank you, Pumpkin. Thanks for spending your own hard-earned money dollars. I usually get gifted a membership when you guys do lives. I guess it's not my turn. I wish I could gift more. Hold on, let me see if I can. Oops, I didn't mean for that to go that high. Well, you know. Okay, that's the wrong thing because it won't let me do that. Oh my God. Let's see. Is this already linked to my money dollars? Oh yeah, it is. Hell yeah. There we go. All right. Let's see. Annie, literally Y, Inspire K, Kiddos Mama, How Novel, Abby Dito, Tess, Just Jess, Miss Annie Hall, and Hannah G. Except Joe just gifted 5 more memberships. Thank you, Joe. Oh my God. Lou just gifted 5 more memberships. Thank you, Lou. We are all going absolutely ham in this chat. We are crying in the club currently. I think these are a lot of people that I probably should not try to read all of the names, but thank you everyone who gifted memberships. It is raining nugs. Yeah, thank you all so much. Oof. The sensory experience of headphones just sitting on my fucking head. Not for me, I have to say. Also, this is now being weird. Okay. It's fine. You know, it's fine. I'm not going to fuss with my hair. Having bangs is kind of difficult, you guys. Like, what am I meant to do with these? They bother me if they're under there. They bother me if they're not. Maybe if I just like, okay, that's like kind of an interesting in between. That's not so bad. Okay, that's fine. Honestly, we'll just leave that like that. I know. I'll aboard the gifting train. Maybe my settings got changed. Beth, thanks for gifting 5 more memberships. Radish, Michelle, autosave, and Wine on One. Oh, and Misha. Congratulations, and DP. As a DJ / producer, sometimes it's so gross. I'm so grossed out by my headphones after a mix or a session. Okay, Kyle, same. Like sitting and wearing headphones for hours, I'm like, ugh. It's just, I like having the hair in between. It's like kind of awful having the hair in between, but it's also kind of good. I don't know. Can someone tell my reflex to piss off so I can enjoy non-bland food again? Oh, Captain Quesadilla, I'm so sorry. My last haircut ended up with hair that won't go in a hair tie. Scout, I would absolutely die. I would be so sad. I know, so many nugs. Thanks for coming, y'all. Thanks for all the gifts, everybody. Good God. It's rain and gifts and nugs. Okay, 3908. Pressing play. In 3, 2, 1. Let's listen to Ethan be nonsensical some more.
I'm sorry for being angry at you yesterday.
Okay, so we're acknowledging that he's being scary.
Well, I still love you very, very much. I don't know what to do with all my emotions.
Maybe for sake of productive conversation today, we leave your family out of it. I think we both feel pretty strongly about that, and we're not going to see eye to eye, so maybe we just talk about us instead of them.
He bothers me so
I know, like,
much.
from where I'm standing, there's some practical steps that we have to take, and I need your collaboration on that. I don't know what all the steps are for paperwork because it's a learning process for me, but I do know that it will need your signature.
Yes.
I know that there's some assets we haven't settled yet that we're going to need to settle.
Super fair. Vanya, yes. I'm like, I already gave you the answer retrospectively. And while you can't hear me.
Are you ready to move forward with that?
Excellent question.
I can't accept this. There was a part of me that hoped that after being apart for so long that she would have changed her mind.
Yeah, see, there it
I had
is.
a feeling I would. Just after seeing her again.
Before you saw Olivia, had you any thoughts of changing your mind, or did that kind of happen the minute you saw her?
No, that kind of happened the minute I saw her.
That's a you problem, dog.
Can't we just make it work?
I think staring down the barrel of loneliness has caused him to change his tune, except that A, Olivia has been like, fine, we're done, moving forward. B, he is not in a place, I think, to realistically actually compromise on what he told her were his non-negotiables. And even if he is in this moment, it's going to come back up later. Their whole marriage and relationship fell apart because he insisted on these 3 non-negotiables. And I think him being afraid of being alone, him being sad because he's been rejected, and especially I think what probably stings for him is that she moved to LA and is thriving and is moving forward, has made efforts to like improve herself and change her life, and like she's doing her best, you know? She's actually, I think, doing better without Ethan, and I think that stings for him. And so I think he wants to suck her back in so that she can't go do those things. And that's not fair. That's not fair to her at all. Yes, he is. It's very childlike. Max, I'm sorry. Hang in there, friend. Do take a break if you need. How do you write divorce papers without a lawyer? Is there a standard template? Can they just write a random paper and sign it and it's done? I mean, I don't really know, but I know that people do get divorced without lawyers sometimes. So I'm assuming, like, I don't know, because the courts have to, right? So in theory, like, I wonder what would happen if you just went to the courthouse and you were like, hi, needing to get divorced, don't know what to do. Amicable, we've already agreed who's getting what and whatever. We just, like, where's the paperwork? I feel like you could also probably Google it, honestly. I feel like you could probably Google it and figure out how to get divorced without a lawyer, and just, like, there's probably state or local paperwork that you need to file, obviously, and just, I don't know, be done. But I would assume it's also probably kind of expensive, though, to file the paperwork. I know. Yeah, I have very little sympathy for him. I know that him being this way isn't his fault, but it is, I think, important for him to start taking accountability for what that's doing to his current and future relationships, if he wants that to change, if he wants the outcome to be different. You can normally find the papers on the county clerk's website. Ask me how I know. Lorelai, thank you. Isn't divorce a really long process? I don't know, Rebecca. I've never been divorced, so I don't know if usually it takes a long time. I know that sometimes it's a long process because folks have to go back and forth between lawyers to settle who's getting what, and especially when children are involved, there has to be a custody agreement. And it can be somewhat difficult because there's like negotiation about like, well, I want this, but you can have that. And like, no, I don't want that. I want this thing. Like, no, well, I want that, so you can't have that. And so there's kind of this back and forth, is my understanding. But if it's amicable, I would assume it's probably faster. And especially without lawyers, where you can just do this, what they're doing probably would make it faster. I watched two people get divorced around the same time. Oh, really? I think divorce can be quick, but when there are disputes about assets, it can take a long time. Yeah. That little E, yes. I think Ethan really does just want to drag it out also. Okay. 41:22, pressing play in 3, 2, 1.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
This season on Welcome to Plathville.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Anybody here?
We'll watch it.
My house in Tampa for a week. My whole family will be sleeping in the same house. Dad can have that room. You can stay with me.
It's been a while since Barry and I slept under the same roof.
People message me on social media wanting me to set them up with you.
I've never experienced a DM. I don't know when I will.
Google, how do I get Riz?
And what is that? That's
Please,
sick.
no.
Sick is still in, right?
We do have somewhat of a little blended family thing going on here. Lydia's here. Ken's here. He's our backup lead singer in case nobody shows. Okay, don't worry. I got it.
I have never disliked Ken, but I'm also not like, yay, excited, yay.
How are you and your girlfriend doing these days?
I think she's opened up to the idea of joining me.
You know I can hear you.
I know you can.
A year ago, you were spending time with me in Minnesota. So much has changed since then. There was this guy that I met working. There might be potential.
It does show me that you're meant to be married once.
Only once?
Yeah. You and him will reunite.
It's the complete reverse of what we thought would ever happen.
I went through the hardest heartbreak.
I wish I had met him. I wish I had known.
He had me believing he was a great guy.
Barry's balding.
I just got this bass. Why don't we do a concert all together as a family?
Please not the music.
She's not seeing clearly. I do feel like it's rash.
Dad, do you know what's going on with Mariah? I know it's her life, but I'm not okay with that.
I loved him as a spouse at one point. So all of that just isn't gone immediately.
I'm just trying to let her go.
Yeah.
I've learned to never say never with
Bears
Ethan,
being bold,
because
saying I thought.
ironically, when you say never, it happens. Hey, Ethan.
That was literally the clip we just watched. You can't fool me. Okay. Also, can I just tell you guys, I've watched the tarot card episode. That's not how tarot works. So I'm annoyed about it, and I'm probably going to have a tangent about it. And I know that some of y'all are haters about my extracurricular activities, but it is what it is. And if you don't want to sit through it, then you don't have to. But I have thoughts and feelings about it. So we're going to talk about it when it happens. I talked to the mods about this already, but our current plan is that I am going to watch one episode a week so that I can have better boundaries with myself. Wolf Trap, you've been a member for 10 whole months. Didn't realize you were back. I missed you. I missed you too. Glad you're here. Thanks for hanging out with us, and thanks for being a McNug, man. I appreciate you. Yes, exactly, Gems. We are respecting the work-life balance. So we're just going to watch one episode a week. These episodes are coming out like live in real time. Like they're coming out weekly. There's a new one this week actually that I haven't watched. But we are just going to be behind, and we're going to be okay with that because yeah, work-life balance. So we will be back Fridays as per usual. We might have to take a few Fridays off because we've just got a lot going on, but I'll make sure to update you. Otherwise, just operate under the pretense that we're hanging out every Friday, just like before. So, boop, boop, boop. Yes, Alex, please. I'm far from a tarot expert, but still, it bothers me the way that they represented it. So, yes, exactly, Ron. They can at least do it correctly or hire someone who is like representing it accurately. But okay. Yes, Raspberry Italia. I love work-life balance too. So, thank you guys so much also for being patient and bearing with me while I was on vacation and while I was having health stuff. And then we went to Phoenix to see my family. And so thank you guys for, hanging in there with me. And, yeah, I'll see you guys next Friday. Okay, I love you all the most. Thank you. Bye.